Good afternoon, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me. It's such a pleasure to welcome you all to the closing ceremony of the third cohort of Farmer Incubation Hub. Please confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. All right. So this is the closing ceremony of the third cohort of Farmer Incubation Hub. And I am so excited to welcome you all. I'm so excited to release our participants to the world, sort of. And it has been amazing 5 months with them. We started the cohort in September last year. And yes, till date, they have been enjoying a lot of sessions on leadership, exposing themselves to knowledge from industry leaders, and more. And it's such a delight to be able to see pharmacy students commit to growth, commit to personal and professional growth. And we at Pharma Incubation Hub are indeed honored to be persons who will be championed with this huge responsibility of grooming pharmacy students who will one day grow to be exceptional pharmacists. I am pharmacist Taiwo Olawayemi, and I am one of the conveners of Pharma Incubation Hub. I remember that the idea of Pharma Incubation Hub was conceptualized when I was in my final year at the University of Ibadan. Myself and my friends from Ezine Asoike, from Christy Oni, and from Yusuf at DBC, all were just dissatisfied with the situation of pharmacy students in Ibadan, to be specific, in the University of Ibadan. We were dissatisfied with pharmacy students who were just all about their books and nothing more. And they didn't even have great, astounding results to show for it. And we could see some other healthcare students, particularly medical students, who excelled academically and outside of the classroom. And we were the outliers in our classes, in our sets, because we weren't all in the same class. We were the outliers in our sets, the kinds of people who wouldn't bat an eyelid when we had a conference to attend, or there was a seminar to attend, or a training to attend. I remember that I was still writing my final year exams when I participated in a leadership program organized by some Mandela Washington Fellows at the University of Ibadan. So we're that committed to personal development and wanted to see that in pharmacy students as well. Wanted to see pharmacy students who would excel in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And that's why we decided to do Pharma Incubation Hub. Actually, some medical students had started a sort of career hub for medical students in their schools. I remember a friend of mine, Eddie, started that in UNIBEN, UBEMSA Hub, that's what it was called, University of Benin Medical Students Hub. And then I remember that Ibadan guys also wanted to start something like that. And I thought to myself, why can't pharmacy students be able to do something like this? And I'm so glad that I found great partners in my friends. And we jointly decided to kick this off. The first cohort started in 2019. Yes, started in 2019, focused only on students from the University of Ibadan. And we had a series of virtual sessions, and our closing ceremony was physical. I remember that. And for the second cohort, we thought, why not extend this to pharmacy students across Nigeria? And there was COVID. It was the heat of COVID, and everything was going virtually at that time. So it was a good opportunity to scale to other schools. And from cohort 2, we were able to garner a lot of success stories, pharmacy students from different parts of Nigeria, from different pharmacy schools across Nigeria. And it was gratifying to be able to read and hear of their testimonials. And we are so proud, so delighted to be able to do this again. Farmer Incubation Hub Cohort 3. In this cohort, I think we had over 100 applications, and we decided to select about 40 or 45. However, about 39 will be completing the program today. Some fell by the wayside. Some were unable to manage their time effectively and couldn't cope with the, and some basically weren't braced for all that the program entailed, basically. So we had to let them go. So I'm so delighted to be able to see all of you who have committed to the program thus far in the course of 5 months. In fact, the program started with 3 months, right? It started as a 3-month program. But now we've been able to pivot to a 5-month program because we think that please confirm if you can hear me, and if you're not supposed to be speaking, kindly mute yourself. Thank you. Great. So we extended to 5 months because we think that the participants needed more time to be able to explore the benefits of the program. So Farmer Incubation Hub is a career accelerator for pharmacy students across Nigeria. And our program is multidisciplinary, given that it enables our participants to be able to learn from a wide range of trailblazing leaders across the healthcare sector and even outside of the healthcare sector. It involves a leadership hub where our participants learn a series of life skills over Zoom every week. It also involves a research hub where participants learn the basics of research so that they can begin to do research on their own and contribute to the body of knowledge in the healthcare space and beyond. And most importantly, the program involves a mentorship hub. We think that there is a lot of talk about mentorship, but very little effective mentorship. And that's why we decided to do this, to be able to redefine what mentorship should entail. And our mentorship program involves a participant to industry leader pairing based on mutual interests. So when participants come on board, we ask them what their key interests are. Some give about 2, 3, 5 interests, and we try to scale down to 1 or 2 and look for one industry leader who may or may not be a pharmacist. We seek, of course, the person's opinion to see if the person is willing to mentor the participant. And if we get the accent of the person, of course, we bring the mentor on board and the mentorship kickstarts, of course, with a few guidelines so that both mentor and mentee are able to get the very best from their mentorship experiences. And we are so proud of the success thus far. We've had people who have been able to groom their confidence just because of the opportunity to be mentored by someone. Many have gained career clarity based on the opportunity to be mentored by someone. Many of them have been able to define what their next steps should be, academically and otherwise, based on their relationship with their mentor. And I'd like to thank every person who has served as a facilitator and or mentor in our program. I know that one of our keynote speakers for today, Bisola Ayodele, served as a mentor in the course of the program. And we are so honored to have trailblazing pharmacists, senior, early career, mid-career, and even senior leaders in the healthcare space who deemed it worthy to be able to commit their time, their expertise, and their experiences to grooming the next generation of pharmacists. If you would permit me, I'd like to read a few testimonials, yes, from the participants so far. So please give me about 1 or 2 minutes so that I can run through some of the testimonials so far. The testimonials are indeed heartwarming, and we are so privileged, so privileged to be able to give our participants such amazing opportunity. I know that many of you will go on to bigger platforms. You'll be able to access bigger opportunities just because you've had a wonderful foundation with Farmer Incubation Hub. So I'm going to read the mentorship December mentorship report from Ubiere. And Ubiere wrote, Farm Incubation Hub has been a great privilege for me during 2021, ranging from the webinars facilitated by seasoned individuals to town hall meetings with participants to various presentations by participants. I won't forget an amazing one-on-one session with the conveners where I was led to self-discovery and personal development. Farm Incubation Hub has been an opener for me. The training sessions I won't forget in a hurry. This all contributed to a meaningful 2021 for me. Among the countless benefits of being a cohort 3 participant, the mentorship session was and will forever be a breakthrough, a major breakthrough for me. I was paired with a seasoned and well-experienced pharmacist Angela Ebere. Ebere took a personal interest in me. After she received my message on LinkedIn, she was so happy that she immediately dropped her WhatsApp contact that I messaged her, which I did. As at the time we started discussing, we were writing our first semester exams. So she asked that I be done so we can fully start. After the exams, I reached out to Fami Berry and we started the session fully. She asked about my interests, hobbies, and other information about me. And she was glad and willing to help me achieve my dreams. She sent me a link to Yali Network course on servant leadership, where I was to take the course, share my certificate with her, and have a discussion on a date that we agreed on. I took the course on servant leadership, which I learned so much about. I had little or no idea about it prior to that time. I took the course on servant leadership. The course highlighted various practice points to be a servant leader, its challenges, how to overcome such, and also how to stand out differently from other leaders. On the agreed date, we discussed in detail what the concept of leadership is and how to achieve my goal in this perspective. I was given another Yali Network course to take on strategies for personal development, personal growth and development. At the end of the course, I was to share my certificate with my mentor and have a discussion on an agreed date. On the agreed date, we discussed various strategies for personal development, which included developing code of ethics, networking, and public speaking. These three important points were discussed at length, and this really added value to me. By the end of December 2021, I had a few more sessions. I had few sessions with my mentor, but those sessions were such that added value to me, changed my mental faculty, and drove me into action and self-discovery. My mentor has great passion for what she does, and her passion serves as a driving force, stirring me into action. With these wonderful sessions with my mentor, I have a strong drive for more leadership responsibilities. I look for opportunities to express myself in public. I now have more networking skills and I am ready to connect with any given opportunity. I look forward to learning more treasures from my mentor and from everyone involved in Farmer Incubation Hub. Thank you, Farmer Incubation Hub, for your outstanding impact in the growth of young undergraduate pharmacists. God bless you. Thank you very much, Ubiere, for your great review. If you will permit me, I'd like to take another mentorship report from one of our participants. Okay, so this report, this report is from Olakunle Adebusui, and this is just a summary of the next steps he will be taking as a result of the mentorship experience he had with his mentor, who is pharmacist Uraola Oyewusi. She's a pharmacist turned data scientist, an award-winning data scientist in Africa. And so such a delight to help Busui, who is interested in data science and machine learning and AI and tech, to be able to learn from a trailblazing pharmacist like Farm Uraola Oyewusi. And in his last report to his mentor, which he shared with us at Pharma Incubation Hub, he wrote this: as a way of being accountable in the mentorship journey, I have set goals and I am glad to share them below. 1, to build the learning path for my journey into data science and start by taking the first step, which is to prepare a learning plan for 2022 by February, register and earn a certification under data analysis. 2nd, to build a mini project to showcase my progress as an aspiring data scientist. To analyze and present a case study by February using Microsoft Excel. And lastly, his 3rd goal in this regard is to earn a certification under one of the basic languages for data science, which is Python. Thank you for the opportunity to be mentored by you, Fanwuraola. I look forward to providing value in return and achieving my goal of becoming a data scientist. Thank you very much, Olakulenyi, for such a beautiful report on your mentorship. And we are glad to know that you are being intentional about the next steps from your mentorship experience. If you will permit me once again to share a few reviews from the participants thus far. So we asked the participants to share their feedback in the middle of the cohort. And as at the middle of the cohort, here are some of the testimonials we received from the participants. 3 words which describe your experience. Someone wrote, superb, timely, impactful. Honestly, it has changed my mindset. I am motivated to put in my best. I have gained some kind of clarity on my career path, and I am more intentional and open to more progressive growth. Another person wrote, it has been eye-opening, inspiring. I have been able to see that my life and career have a lot in store for me. So I have been energized, inspired, and totally spurred to aim for more. Another person wrote, it has been mind-shifting, enlightening, and awesome. Pharma Incubation Hub has been one of the best things to happen to me this year. It has given me more insight on a lot of things like career, mentorship, leadership. It has been enlightening, exposing me to lots of valuable knowledge and experiences I wouldn't have had. The Mentorship Hub has been more like an answer to prayer for me. I hope to make best use of it. The networking opportunities have been a big plus. Thank you so much, PIH. From another person, it has been educative with great exposure. It has been a networking avenue. I am glad to have come across this program. It is one of the highlights of my 2021. The Zoom sessions, WhatsApp sessions. In fact, I facilitated my first online webinar too, thanks to PIH. The mentorship session has been helpful too. So many highlights, but I am glad for this amazing opportunity. From another person, it has been eye-opening, engaging, intriguing. I have always wanted to make a purposeful impact. How to go about it had always been a problem. Then PIH came along. It was everything I needed at the time. I met amazing people, students like me, who had similar zeal and ambition as me. The speakers made me believe that my dreams were not that big after all. The passion with which PIH uses to organize events needs to be studied. I gained so much value in each of the sessions, and my yearning for success increased exponentially. Thanks to PIH, my initiative will kick off soon. PIH is one of the best things that happened to me. From another person, it has been an impactful experience. Through the series of webinars, listening to different speakers, I have come to understand a lot about myself, what I want, and how I can impact others. I have moved from being anxious about not knowing a direct path I am to follow to realizing that it's okay not to know for sure and just be on the right path that is headed in that definite direction for now. I have come to appreciate the key word value. And I have begun to change my perspective and build my principles on adding value to others. PIH has been a true blessing to me, and I am very grateful. Oh my, let me take one last one. Let me take one last one. The experience has been amazing, insightful, life-changing. My experience with PIH was one of a lifetime, as I had the opportunity to network with pharmacy students from different schools of pharmacy in Nigeria. Capacity development to be an excellent pharmacy student. And I have acquired skills such as time management, critical thinking, and many more. As a participant, the webinars shaped my perspective of the profession and helped me to learn more about various areas pharmacy students can perform effectively. Wow, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on, but time wouldn't permit us, definitely. And I would just like to thank every one of you who has stayed committed to the program so far. Because it's not even easy for you as students who have pharmacy school to think about, to still stay committed to an extracurricular activity, no matter how well-intentioned. I'm so glad that all of you have done so well. I remember that last week when we were giving a report of the program so far, one of you said he had his best results in pharmacy school, and he's in 500 level, best result in pharmacy school during this program. Just goes to show that when you're strategic with your involvement in extracurricular activities, you can still ace your schoolwork and still blaze trails outside of the classroom. Thank you so much, everyone. And I'd like to welcome one of our speakers for today, pharmacist Abisola Ayodele. I remember I met Fam Ayodele last year. Yes, last year. And she just left a positive impression on me when we met last year. And I just felt pharmacy students need to listen to someone like this. And when I saw on LinkedIn that her role changed from being, I think she was formerly a med rep. I can't really remember what the previous role is, but I saw the updates on LinkedIn, regional change management lead. Oh my God, no, pharmacy students need to tap from this. No. I can't let her go. I cannot let her go. And I'm so glad that she not only decided to mentor one of our students, she's mentoring one of us right now, she still chose to speak at this closing ceremony. Please give a round of applause, an round of applause to Abisola Ayodele. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. I'll now yield the floor to Similayi Omolayo to read her citation briefly before Abisola comes on board. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma. Thank you so much, Fam Tio, and thank you so much, Fam Abisola. It's so glad to have you on board. Okay, so Fam Abisola is a proactive sales professional with a strong sense of integrity and diplomacy. She has a passion for communications, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And she's ready to embrace new challenges where she can leverage her communication, contribute to meaningful work in the line with her equity value. Sticking to broadening her experience and reputation vision. Can you join me to welcome Fam Abisola as she takes the floor? You're welcome, ma. So Fam Tio will help to share your slides so that you can carry on.
Okay, great. Thank you. Good evening, students and facilitators. Yes, as introduced, my name is Abisola Ayodele, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. In fact, when she said she was going to read my citation, I was like, I didn't supply anything. So thank you guys for being very creative and coming up with yours by yourselves. Well done. Thank you. So yes, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for inviting me to speak. A quick observation. As Timilehin was reading out the citation, I did lose audio. So I don't know if it's my network or from her side, but if you can't hear me, just let me know and I'll maybe switch off my camera so we can have a better quality audio. Please, could you put the slides in full screen in a presentation mode? It's if you click on the, let me try and get a slide up. Right at the top, there's something that looks like a play button on a projector screen, right on the top. Next to, let's see, if you can see file, home, insert drawer, above drawer, you should have that icon that puts it in full presentation mode, just so it's larger for everybody. But while that's loading up, I'll start, I guess. So like all of you, I went through pharmacy school too. And when I think back, actually, I realized that it was exactly 20 years ago that I entered pharmacy school. So time has really flown. And, I want to empathize with you all because I know that pharmacy school is tough. You have early morning classes at times, you have long labs, and you don't have a day off, unlike some other courses where the students get maybe a day or two off during the week. But I encourage you to persevere. I persevered and I got my degree. And I also got a well-rounded university experience. So I was quite, I was smiling to myself when Tayo was talking about doing extracurricular activities at university because I'm a strong advocate of that. And I encourage you, please don't just graduate with a degree in pharmacy. University holds a lot more in terms of experiences that can be gained. So I'll encourage you to take full advantage. Perhaps you could join your pharmacy students association or join a sports society or a music band or create your own club or hub like Tyra and her peers did in University of Ibadan. And responsibility and take some responsibility and gain leadership skills as well. If you can, I would also encourage you to even campaign for a position of office. Even if you don't get the position, you will grow a lot. You will gain valuable skills in public speaking, in networking, in persuasive speech, and so much more. You'll be so impressed by the end of it. So I would encourage you to take part in something. And of course, all of these experiences can be added to your CV and really set you apart from the rest of the pack, because I'm sure you can count the number of you that there are in your classes. And every year, your school, plus all the other schools of pharmacy in Nigeria, releases graduates. So the competition is quite steep. There's not a big opening of jobs for, you know, hundreds and thousands of pharmacists in a year. So you really have to set yourself apart and think outside the box, really. So I was quite excited when I saw the topic, which is making the most out of opportunities. So I would like to give my perspective on this topic. So can we have the next slide, please? Thank you, Tyro. Great. So what's an opportunity? Well, according to the Cambridge English Dictionary, it's an occasion or a situation that makes us, that makes it possible to do something that you want to do or have to do, or it's the possibility of doing something. So let me give you some examples of opportunities. Everyone here at this closing ceremony has had the opportunity to benefit from this 3-month or 5 months, I believe, 5-month program in the Pharma Incubation Hub. And everyone here has also been given an opportunity to go to pharmacy school. This is not an opportunity that everybody gets to go into further education. And I hope that you will all make the best of this opportunity by graduating with a good degree and a well-rounded university experience. Now, I chose these 2 examples to show that some sometimes opportunities can be right where we are. I'll say that again. Sometimes we can find opportunities right where we are. Let's have the next slide, please. What do you have in your hands? Does this sound familiar to anyone? Yes, some of you may recognize this from the Bible. We all know the story in Exodus of Moses and the burning bush and Moses' excuses that he gave God. If you count them, he actually had 4 excuses, and for each excuse, God had answers. In the end, he was obedient and he used what was in his hand. He used his staff or his rod, and with that, he managed to lead the children of Israel out of Egypt. This is just something I wanted to let you know, to really picture the fact that no matter where you are, you have all that you need already within your grasp. God used his rod. He didn't tell him to go to, a far land to find something, an equipment that would be used for this mission. He had everything he needed already. Can we have the next slide again, please? Great, thank you. Now at Pfizer, some of our leaders have started writing emails with bluff. And what does bluff mean, you may be asking yourself? Well, I've put it on the screen. It stands for bottom line up front. And it is the practice of basically beginning your message with key information, the bottom line, most important information first. So today, I want to take the bluff approach. I'd like to tell you a quick story before I give my presentation on career opportunities that exist for pharmacists. So let me start. It's a story about a quest, an adventure, and an interesting ending. It's a story of a man called Ali Hafid, as told by Russell Conwell in his book titled Acres of Diamond. And it goes like this. There was once a wealthy man named Ali Hafid who lived not far from the river Indus. He was contented because he was wealthy, and he was wealthy because he was contented. One day, a priest visited Ali Hafid and told him about diamonds. Ali Hafid heard all about diamonds, how much they were worth, and he went to bed that night a poor man. He had not lost anything, but he was poor because he was discontented. And he was discontented because he feared he was poor. The next day, Ali Hafid sold his farm. He left his family. He traveled to Palestine and then on to Europe, searching for diamonds. He did not find them. Rejected, he cast himself into the sea. Now, one day, the man who had purchased Ali Hafid's farm found a curious sparkling stone in a stream that cut through the land. It was a diamond. Digging produced more diamonds, acres of diamonds, in fact. This, according to the story, was the discovery of the famed diamonds of Golconda. Now, the point of this story is we often dream of fortunes to be made elsewhere. We ought instead to be open to the opportunities that are around us. Conway illustrates this with this concept and several other stories, including a story about the discovery of gold in California, or the story of another farmer in Pennsylvania this time. He sold his farm for $833, and then he went to Canada to work for his cousin, collecting oil. Shortly after that, the man who purchased his farm in Pennsylvania found oil worth millions of dollars. Next slide, please. Can have the next slide, Taiwo. Thank you. Great. Now, I'm not suggesting that you physically have to start digging in your backyard, as this is just a story. but I'd like to discuss with you how we can find these diamonds in our backyards. The first tip I'd want to give you is to maintain a ready mind. Be open to the possibilities that are around you. Don't let preconceived notions cloud your judgment. We often overlook the value of something because we believe we already know it. The second tip is to look at the familiar in new ways. Look with a fresh pair of eyes. Cornwell lists some important inventions like the snap button, the cotton gin, the mowing machine, and notes that these were created by everyday people who just found new approaches and new uses for commonplace objects. The third tip I'd say is learn what people want and give it to them. Discover a market and then provide the goods or the service that reacts to that market. Too many people do this the other way around. They manufacture a good or a service and then they try to create a market to manufacture the desire for that item. But you will have more success if you see the desire and then try and meet it. So if you look around, you'll find a market. People need something. There's a specific thing that they need. Meet that need rather than going to create something and then trying to find who will buy and convincing people. It's easier if you do it by meeting the demand that already exists. Then the fourth thing I wanted to say is that knowledge is more important than capital. A lack of capital is common excuse for not starting a business venture. How often have you heard people say, oh, you need money to make money? Well, this is nonsense, according to Cornwell. And he gives anecdotes of wealthy people who started with nothing but an idea. I can also think of one or two of these people. I don't know if you guys have heard of Virgin Atlantic. The Virgin Group was started by Richard Branson, and he was someone who dropped out of school at the age of 16. So he didn't go to university like you're in, but he found a need. He was on an island somewhere, and from my understanding of the story, the flight that was supposed to take people back to their original destination was cancelled. So he chartered a plane. He hired a private jet, we will call it, and then he sold tickets to everyone who wanted to get back home as fast as possible. And that's how he started his airline. And to get the money to charter the plane, he pre-sold those tickets. So he told them, okay, I can get you a flight tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., give me this much. Everyone gave him the money and he had enough to go and charter this plane. So you don't necessarily always need money to make money. If you have an idea, you'll find a way to make it work. And the last thing I want to say is don't put yourself down. Don't belittle your environment. Don't compare yourself with others. Believe in the great opportunities that are right here, not what is over in Canada or in the UK, but what is here in Nigeria. Find the best in what is around you. Then here are some common sense ideas. Each of us is right in the middle of our acre of diamond. If only we would realize it and develop the ground that we are standing on before charging off in search of greener pastures. Opportunity does not just come along. It's there all the time. We just have to see it. In life, when we're searching for something, we need to know exactly what that something looks like. What does it smell like? What does it taste like? So that when you finally get it, you can recognize it. Then the grass is not always greener. Before you give up on what you already have, make sure that what you're getting is better than what you already have. Then to conclude, your family comes first. They're part of your support structure, and they will help you through the most difficult times. So if we can have the next slide, thank you. So let's go back to pharmacy. What is pharmacy? Well, pharmacy can be described as the clinical health science that links medical science with chemistry. It is charged with the discovery discovery, production, disposal, safe and effective use, and control of medication. The practice of pharmacy requires excellent knowledge of drugs, their mechanism of action, their side effects, their interactions, their mobility, and their toxicity. At the same time, it requires knowledge of treatment and understanding of pathological processes. So if you have a pharmacy degree, your career pharmacy jobs to non-traditional jobs, a hardworking pharmacy school actually equips you with flexibility, with marketability, to work in a variety of industries. To put it simply, pharmacists possess transferable skills, which can be used almost everywhere. If we look at the next slide, I have put the opportunities, next slide, please. So I just to give some context, the changes in the pharma industry over the past few years have been fast and furious, actually, because of developing technology and a changing marketplace. Many pharmacists have found new careers while working to solve existing problems in industry. Others have disciplines like computer science to create new pharmacy opportunities like informatics that pharmacists have. But as I talk about these, I'll also try and expatiate on the broader options available so you can consider where your talents lie and how those talents overlap with your passions, and then how your talents and your passion can help solve a problem that exists in your backyard. That's in Nigeria, maybe in Africa, perhaps even the world needs your solution. So let's start with the first path, which is the hospital setting. In the hospital, you would find pharmacists, the clinical pharmacists, and they work with physicians, they work with nurses and other healthcare professionals to ensure that medicines give the best possible health outcomes to patients. So they frequently interact with other providers to coordinate care. Hospital pharmacists typically treat patients with complicated conditions, which can include things like oncology cases, IV medication therapy, neonatal care, pain therapy, geriatrics, or care of the elderly, and the doctors and the nurses to care for the patient. And though they don't routinely interact with the patients, there are opportunities that do exist to do ward rounds and actually have this patient contact. Also on discharge, the pharmacist should be present with the patient's medication and give them counseling on how to take these medicines once they get back home, and obviously highlight if any changes have been made in their medicines. Then we also have another group of pharmacists called compounding pharmacists. They go under different names, but we just call them compounding pharmacists for simplicity. And they're also within the hospital setting. They basically create personalized medicines for patients with medicine-related challenges. For example, if a child can't swallow a medicine and the only formulation is a tablet, a compounding pharmacy would help out here. Or if an adult maybe has an allergy to gluten and the formulation comes in a gluten-inclusive formulation, then they can try and recompound it without that. So their work can be quite interesting. And in where mass-produced medicines won't solve a problem, they basically work to fill in the gap for the patients based on their specific So, for example, another area is with chemotherapy. Some hospitals have aseptic units where chemotherapy is compounded on a patient-specific basis, and this is that existing here, and some of these pharmacists also go on to set up manufacturing companies who supply hospitals with patient-specific chemotherapy and total done to work with an aseptic manufacturing company called Hospira. This find the work particularly rewarding because they can solve unique and sometimes life-changing challenges here. Now let's move on to the consultant pharmacist. Just like you have doctors who do a residency program and become consultants and pharmacists, and basically prevention related problems. Traditional drug regimen, they can be facilities in adult day healthcare program. Their practice has expanded to medication themselves, but rather the length of therapies. And in some lead clinics, so like you would have a cardiovascular clinic, an asthma clinic, perhaps an anticoagulation clinic. A pharmacist could actually lead this, where they're seeing routine cases which don't need changes in medication, but just reviewing to make sure everything is okay, and yeah, basically reviewing the patient and lightening the load for the doctors. So this does happen in some countries. You have pharmacy-led clinics. Then we also have the geriatric pharmacist. These pharmacists have special knowledge in the care of older adults, and they frequently have experience in ambulatory care, which is care outside of the hospital setting. So in acute care and in long-term care as well. They may engage with institutionalized adults also. Those are those in the hospitals or in care homes, and also those who are living in the community. So many geriatric pharmacists specialize in pharmacodynamics, which is understanding what the drug does to the body, as well as pharmacokinetics, which is the study of the time course of the drug, its absorption, metabolism, elimination. Then you also have a group of pharmacists called nuclear pharmacists, and these basically are involved in preparing and dispensing patient-specific compounds to aid in diagnostic imaging and in therapeutic procedures. So basically, they can prepare things like dyes that are used in diagnosing some disease conditions. Their practice is mostly in hospitals and in clinics, and they usually would not have a very large patient interaction because they're just sort of preparing the tools for the diagnostic test. Nuclear pharmacists also can work in drug discovery and development research as well. Another type of pharmacist you can find in the hospital setting is like the oncology pharmacist. And they basically aid cancer care teams in treating patients by educating these patients about the side effects they can expect, conducting safety checks, preparing chemotherapy dosing, and conducting drug development research. So they work to maximize the benefits of drug therapy and minimize toxicities. These group of patients, they engage with patients by helping them anticipate the drug side effects and to understand how to take their medicines safely. Then we also have government pharmacists. So these are people with a job that involves service to the government. They can work in organizations like the FDA, which is the regulatory body in America, the MHRA, which is the regulatory body in the UK, NAFDAC, which is the regulatory body here, or Ministry of Health and things like that. Pharmacists can also work in the armed forces. So if you're looking for a career in the military, they also need pharmacists there. So these pharmacists practice in a variety of specialties under the umbrella of the government. Okay, if we move on to the community setting, you'll find pharmacists in a number of roles, such as home infusion pharmacists who administer medication. They normally do IV medications through needles or catheters for patients whose condition cannot effectively be treated by oral medications. Yet these patients have been discharged from the hospital. So they're now perhaps in their home or in care homes, and they still need the specialized care. Infusion pharmacists require coordination of care with other providers, and it usually involves the patients who have been discharged from a medical facility, as I mentioned. These pharmacists also provide patient counseling and personalized care to patients through nutritional support and other mechanisms. Then we have independent or retail pharmacists. These pharmacists are pharmacy owners, so they practice as both medical practitioners as well as business owners. So they have their business hat on. They provide services like medication therapy management, medication adherence through maybe the sale of pill boxing, for example. They also are involved in compounding of simple substances and providing durable medical equipment. And they have the freedom to adjust their practice to meet the community's needs. For example, right now in the UK and the US, the COVID vaccination is being given through pharmacies. So in this sort of competitive field of pharmacy, independent pharmacists must distinguish themselves from big drug stores by using niche concepts and providing customized services to their patients. Because if the patient sees themselves as being valued by the pharmacy and the pharmacist, they will keep coming back because they have a lot of options. They can go anywhere. But you find that patients tend to be creatures of habit, and they'll go back to where they receive good service. So we also have a long-term care pharmacist, and this pharmacist usually cares for a resident population in a setting such as maybe a mental institution, a rehabilitation center, an urgent care facility, or even a correctional institution like a prison. So long-term care pharmacists often act as the primary care physicians to their population because they can also engage in diagnosing and treatment of common minor ailments. So they monitor the patient's condition and they regulate the drug protocols, and they also provide nutritional support, drug research, and patient counseling as part of their daily routines. Then we have mail order pharmacists. The number of such pharmacies has grown exponentially as startups seek to address customer convenience and help customers save money on their healthcare costs. So you can imagine with these mail order pharmacies, they've created a niche business model, and they can serve places like hospices, respiratory care centers, or even people, specific patient cases like with erectile dysfunction and other sort of specialized field, things that people may not want to come out into a public pharmacy and ask for a certain drug. You can just order online. So it gives you that privacy. No one knows what you're buying. Then you have what's called a pharmacy benefits manager. And they're basically like a third-party administrator of prescription programs. So they dictate which drugs consumers can receive from their insurance plan or their HMO without incurring additional out-of-pocket costs. So these PBMs leverage their power to negotiate drug discounts from drug makers. You can think of them as the middleman between the employers and the drug manufacturers, working to achieve a fair deal for both parties while minimizing on costs. So we also have pharmacists who work within these HMOs as well. And they basically work to enhance the patient outcomes while optimizing healthcare resources. So a managed care pharmacist will frequently collaborate with physicians, nurses, and so on to manage not only the quality, but the cost effectiveness of the drug. And they also can institute practices to ensure patient safety. I'll now move on to the pharmaceutical industry. And in pharma, there are different roles, from sales research to quality control. Depending on the area you choose, you can basically marry your experience, your technical background with your pharmacy degree to create an entirely different career opportunity for yourself in pharma. Even within the pharmaceutical industry, there are a variety of specialties that you can engage in, like medical devices, clinical trials, regulatory affairs, and so on, quality control, and so on. And of course, you have your typical research and development as well. And then you have medical sales. And as Taiwo mentioned, this is my primary role, actually. I'm a medical sales representative. And like others, I basically sell medicinal products to doctors, pharmacists, organizations like hospitals, pharmacies, clinics, and so on, corporations. And though technology and automation have really changed almost every aspect of the healthcare industry, medical sales depends quite largely on that relationship, on the face-to-face interactions that you have. However, during the pandemic, many companies switched to virtual interactions. And this is where my secondary role comes into play as the change management lead. We had to transform the way we interact with our audience, because obviously no one was moving, no one was allowed into hospitals. I mean, you didn't even want to go to the hospital, everyone was afraid. So we still had to obviously interact with our healthcare providers. And so we started using virtual interactions, calling them by phone, and also using Zoom platform and things like that to engage with them. So those who choose a career in medical sales must invest significant time and energy to master their jobs, to be financially successful. So we're now moving on to the last pillar, which is the academia pillar. I also put the non-traditional pharmacy careers under this section. So this is where pharmacists who enjoy engaging with students may benefit from a career in academia or in lecturing. The role has evolved over the years, so it isn't necessarily confined to just the classroom setting, but it can extend to clinical practice as well. And it's worth noting that these positions are often best suited to those who have extensive experience in the industry. So they can teach from experience and then give the examples to their students. Then non-traditional careers, you can look at the financial sector, because pharmacists develop valuable analytical skills over the course of their education. They often make good candidates to transition into the financial sector. Pharmacists can find roles in financial planning, prescription savings, and other sectors that demand attention to detail. So we're very detailed people. Then, of course, you have informatics, and this seeks to use data, information, and knowledge to improve human health and the delivery of healthcare. The emerging field combines the elements of computer science and technology with a knowledge of medicine to advance public health and patient care. So, I mean, nowadays you can have things like apps that can even respond to patients who have minor ailments and symptoms. They put in what's wrong with them, and the app can tell them, okay, this may be what you have, visit such and such a place, and so on. So recent growth in this field has deepened the need for more people to work in informatics and has led to an increased number of pharmacy school programs as well as residencies to address this need. Another area that pharmacists could go into is journalism. Many pharmacists have found satisfying work in writing about the medical field for journals and for online publications. A limited number of organizations actually employ staff writers to help with their content while they engage others as freelance writers. So to be as competitive as possible, studying a well-rounded variety of topics that make your work relevant to a broad spectrum of users is key. Another area we can look at is legal. Compliance is one of the fastest growing branches of healthcare, with compliance officers helping organizations adhere to state and federal laws, as well as internal policies and procedures. Additionally, pharmaceutical companies often require the services of patent attorneys to help them introduce new drugs and protect the drugs for the duration of the patency. So this is a case of branded medicines. Like when you have an innovative product, other companies are not allowed to make that product for the duration of the patency. So obviously a patent lawyer would be the one that is involved in the enforcement of this, working with the country's regulatory as well. Medical writing is another area that pharmacists can go into. They basically generate regulatory and research-related documents, as well as promotional literature and journal abstracts. Medical writers must have a deep understanding of medical concepts and terminology, as well as research data and publishing requirements. So the exponential growth in medical technology and the healthcare industry make medical writing quite a fast-growing field. And there's a need for effective communicators. This is another skill that pharmacists have. We're good communicators. So looking for effective medical communicators that can target their writing to the intended audience. That's another skill that pharmacists have. We know how to tailor our medicine. You speak our message, sorry. You're speaking to a customer, you speak with them in layperson's terms, you're speaking to your peers, you can use the medical jargon. So the pharmacy landscape is constantly evolving due to technology and automation. And as a result, it would be impossible to create an all-encompassing list of all the pharmacy career opportunities. So these are just a few to get you thinking. Let's have the last slide, please. While that's coming up, perhaps it's my network, to conclude, allow me to take you back to the story of Ali Hafid. Are you one of those people who looks for diamonds in faraway places? Is the grass really greener there? Or is there an opportunity that has been in front of you all the time? Have you taken stock of your life lately? Perhaps there are diamonds sitting just outside your back door. In reading Acres of Diamond, I am also reminded of the biblical parable of the prodigal son. I would say he was wiser than Ali Hafid because at least he had the common sense to return home and beg for forgiveness. Your diamonds are not in a faraway mountain or in distant seas. They're usually in your own backyard. If only you would take the time to look for them. How might you apply this story to your life? We always think that the grass is greener on the other side, but this is seldom the case. Ali Hafid had been standing on his own acres of diamond until he sold his farm. How about you? Do you see any diamonds yet? Could you be the founder of the next online pharmacy? Or could you partner with your medical colleagues and maybe start a long-term care institution, probably the first of its kind in Nigeria? I personally believe that the grass is greener where you water it. So thank you so much for your time. And I'm open to answering any questions that you may have.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Fam Abisola Ayodele. Such an interesting and insightful presentation. And I believe that all of our participants here today have learned indeed that the grass is greener where you water it. I know there is the jackpot craze amongst young professionals these days. Everyone's looking for better opportunities, better climate. And yes, it's not out of place to want to step out of what we currently have to what is possible and what is currently in existence for many other persons. However, I think that this is an interesting perspective that you have shared, because right here where we are, we can work with what we have change the dynamics of things and to create the future that we so desire for Nigeria, for the healthcare sector in Nigeria, for the pharmaceutical sector in Nigeria. I believe that our participants have learned a lot from all that you have shared with us today. So, dear participants, if you would like to share what you learned, yes, what jumped at you in the course of this presentation, if you even have a question that you'd like to share, please feel free to type in the comment section, or you could raise your hand so that you could be called upon. So while our participants do this, permit me to ask, Ma, would you say, no, what would you say is the reason you came back to Nigeria? So I know that you didn't study in Nigeria, yet you chose to practice here in Nigeria. You could have chosen to practice at a foreign headquarters of Pfizer or a foreign office of Pfizer, but you came to Nigeria. Not many people would even do that. So what would you say is the prime motivation for your career journey so far?
And I'm an honest person, so I always answer honestly. I can't say I came back to Nigeria in search of diamonds or anything like that. It was purely a decision that my husband and I took. We agreed that once we got married, we'd start our life in Nigeria. And I didn't want a situation where he'd be shuttling and I'd still be in the UK. So I agreed to come back with him because I believe that, God had brought us together and I didn't think it was right to live separate lives. So I came with him to Nigeria. And funnily enough, I had actually started my career or my pre-registration year, which I guess is similar to your internship year, with Pfizer in the UK. So I worked in R&D for 6 months with Pfizer. So yes, I had that experience. And that is perhaps why when I came back to Nigeria and I decided I wanted to be a medical rep, I sought out Pfizer again because I had such a good experience with them. But yes, I can't say that I was lured back by the opportunities in pharmacy because there really are not a lot. I was working, as I told you, in hospital pharmacy, and I was making chemo. That was my job. When I came to Nigeria, the level at which hospital pharmacy was, this was in 2010, was very, very basic, very primitive. Most pharmacists like to take charge of the dispensing process, which to me is the job of a dispenser or pharmacy technician. It's not why you went to pharmacy school for 5-6 years to count tablets. So I felt it was a very limited and short-sighted role. So hospital pharmacy was completely out of it for me. And also because I was used to being on the wards. I was used to working with doctors, to challenging consultants and saying, no, this medicine is wrong, use this instead. And they listened to me, even as a junior pharmacist. Please excuse the background noise. My daughter is here and insists on being heard. Let me just tell her to excuse us. All right, sorry about that. Yes, so as I was saying, hospital pharmacy would not have taken me as I was with my mindset. But over the years of coming back, obviously, I was unemployable for the first few years. I didn't have my NYSC. I hadn't converted with the PCN. I hadn't done the program. And back then, the program was just once a year. So I had a year of pretty much not really doing so much. So I decided to start volunteering with an NGO. I worked with Live Well initiative, actually, and this gave me a lot of exposure to how things were in Nigeria. And it was a great experience because it also just grounded me. And I realized that, my worth was not in my earnings, because coming from the UK, my salary compared to what I was getting. And I mean, when I was with Live Well, I like telling people this story. My first salary was 18,000 Naira. And then at the end of the first month, she didn't actually pay me because she told me it was towards the uniform. Sorry, Mrs. Bright, but that's actually what happened. So I didn't get paid for the first month of working. But do you know, I actually felt very happy being here, because as a pharmacist working with people, I think we had these outreach programs that different banks would sponsor to, just the average person or bank staff. I just noticed that people really saw value in what I was doing. So maybe I was just taking their blood pressure and then looking at their medication and giving them advice. I realized that I would always have the longest queue of patients just waiting for me. People just waiting for me to, measure their blood pressure and then tell them something. In the UK, it was the other way around. They just wanted you to just give them their medication and not counsel them. Everyone had this entitled manner, and they were always very like, oh, please, thank you, and moving on. They didn't value what they had. They didn't value the knowledge of a pharmacist in community. And over here, suddenly it was things were changed, because I'm not the kind of pharmacist that would just give you your tablets and say, okay, bye. I want to explain to you how to take them, see how we can fit it into your lifestyle. Do we have to change anything in your diet because of the medicine you're taking? How can we make it work? When will you take your medicine? So I felt really appreciated. I felt celebrated. So being in Nigeria and earning next to nothing did not matter. I was in a place where I was appreciated, and I had a lot of joy. So eventually the year passed and I moved on to do my conversion course. I had to go to Zaria for about 6 weeks. And it was like being back in pharmacy school, except probably worse. It was just study, cram. I eventually passed. I thank God I passed the exam, and I came back to Lagos. And then it was to start NYSC. That was another journey of its own. And I worked in retail pharmacy in the interim. After a few years in retail, which I really enjoyed doing as well, I realized that in terms of progression, I felt the opportunities were quite limited. Unless I was the pharmacy owner, there wasn't really an opportunity to really grow and progress. In the UK, if you're managing a branch, after a while, you may become like the regional manager. After a while, maybe the national manager. There's a pathway. But in Nigeria, a lot of the pharmacies were independent pharmacies, just a one-man business. And that's where I was. So after a while, I decided that I looked at things, because I was clearer now on how pharmacy practice was in Nigeria. And I tried 2 or even 3, say public health as well, 3 avenues. And I now thought, okay, let me try industry. In the UK, medical sales rep is not the traditional path for a pharmacist. It's a job that nurses, maybe biochemists would do. As a pharmacist, you won't be a sales rep. So I had that attitude of, why should I do this? But I now realized that it was the first rung in the ladder in industry. And in Nigeria, everyone kept saying you have to start as a sales rep before you can be a sales manager, you can be a marketing manager, or so on, be the commercial director, the country manager, and so on. So I decided to, take a chance and do it. And to my surprise, or maybe I wasn't so surprised, I actually loved it. I like working with Pfizer. It's a great company. I like my colleagues. I like meeting new people and having a different work environment every day. I'm not going to the same office all the time. So now for me, actually, I'm not even looking for a job that would ever put me in an office again. I need to be able to work flexibly and remotely. I like hybrid working. So now we work hybridly. We're doing some days at home, some days in the field, and it's great. So yeah, this has been my journey coming back to Nigeria and the opportunities I found here. In the course of the presentation, I deliberately mentioned a number of pharmacy roles that you would not find in Nigeria, because I was hoping to trigger someone thinking that, oh, that's a gap. Maybe I can, collaborate with my medical colleagues or something and try and meet that gap, set up something, and be an employer, go into manufacturing of chemo, so people don't have to keep buying externally, and you can actually have personalized chemotherapy rather than, just the ready-made ones that are around. So a lot of the things I spoke about, a lot of the roles I spoke about don't exist here. So these are all opportunities, because it doesn't mean that there's no one that needs that. Nigeria's population is far bigger than anything in the UK. And they have these things there. So if we had them in Nigeria, you definitely have the population to make it a success. If anyone has anything, any business in mind in Nigeria, it thrives. I mean, I look at the eateries that we have here. The minute you get like one eatery, everyone is there. Everyone's at Domino's Pizza. Everyone is at Burger King. There's a lot of money to be made. And the healthcare industry as well is taking off. We have new hospitals that are coming back. We have people like the doctors behind Marcel Ruth. If you read the story, I think she started off in the UK as well. She and her husband and her mother-in-law died of cancer, and they decided to come back to Nigeria and build a cancer hospital. And they have a world-class cancer facility in Lekki. So, I mean, we have hospitals like Marcel Ruth. We have pharmacists who are working in this hospital. We have Duchess Hospital here in Ikeja, Lagos. Sorry, guys, I don't know too much of what's happening outside of Lagos, so I'm just giving you local examples. But at the Duchess Hospital, if you go in there, you think you're somewhere abroad. I have Marigold in my territory in Surulere. It's like any hospital you'll find in London. So there are these hospitals which are coming up, and this has all happened within the short period of time that I've been back. I would say, in fact, it's probably all happened within the past 3-4 years. So it's taking off now. There are opportunities, definitely. And I'm not trying to dissuade anyone who wants to go abroad, because I was there. So I'm actually a big advocate of saying, go and see how you like it. If it's fine for you, it's fine for you. You know, everyone has, God has a plan for everyone. Everyone has their destiny. There was a time where Abraham was called to leave the land that he was in and go to another land, and he moved. So if that's where God is directing you, go, because you will definitely prosper. But to say that there's no opportunities in Nigeria is absolutely false. And there are more opportunities here than you would even have abroad, because almost nothing has been done. If we had a healthcare facility scale of 0 to 100, Nigeria is still probably in the lower 25 percentile of what is there. So there's a lot that needs to be done in healthcare. And one thing the pandemic has taught people is you don't have the option of always jumping on a plane and flying out. And that is why people have started investing in healthcare in Nigeria. That's why the hospitals have started coming up, because people saw that they couldn't fly out, no matter how much money you had. I mean, unless you were Buhari or really, really well connected or had a private jet, you could not fly out. So this country with 150 million people needs you. We need to find the things to bridge that gap and to make it work. So I think the opportunity, the diamonds are here. In fact, it's a fact. The resources, everything in Africa. So whatever you're going to look for in the abroad is not as big as what is going to happen here when it takes off. So by all means, go out, do your master's, do your PhD, get some experience, and come back, because we need to build this. No one is going to come and build it for us. We need to build it ourselves. We need to water this grass, and it will be greener. And trust me, they will even want to come here at that stage. So thank you. I think I've really gone a very long way of answering your question of why did I come back. But honestly, I didn't come back because I wanted to do anything noble, because I left Nigeria when I was 8 and I never came back. So I had no roots or no connections. It was never on my plan until I got married to this wonderful man who brought it back. And I'm glad he brought me back, because I have no regrets. I think this is definitely where I belong. Thank you.
Wow, so good. So good. Love it. So good to hear you tell us about the good times you had over there, and even great times that you have had here so far. And I like that you're not even dissuading anyone who is interested in going. Yes, by all means, get the experience, the exposure that overseas may have for you. And after all is said and done, please come back home, come back to Nigeria, and let's build this. Because indeed, where problems lie, there are opportunities. And there are loads of opportunities for us to thrive as pharmacists, as healthcare professionals here in Nigeria. Thank you so, so much, Ma. Thank you so, so much. So participants, do you have any questions or do you have any comments you'd like to share? Please type in. Oh my, I see lots of responses here. Okay, great. So please type in the comment section. Alida wrote, insightful presentation. Thank you, ma'am. Great, great. So please type in the comment section or raise your hand so you can be called upon to unmute yourself. So who is going first? Let's hear from you, dear participants. What questions do you have based on all that has been shared so far? So, ma'am, I have, or someone has met me previously, worried about how to work around her career aspirations. So she's interested in a patient-facing role, but she doesn't want to do regular community pharmacy. Yet she's also interested in teaching, but she's looking for a way to merge both, but she's unsure how to go about that. So what would you suggest to someone like that?
Well, I think that's very interesting. To speak to the patient-facing, well, like I already covered in my presentation, beyond community pharmacy, you also have hospital pharmacists who should be patient-facing. Yeah. Alternatively, I mean, I would say, yeah, so I think hospital would be a good avenue because she can have that patient interaction and still have opportunities to train junior pharmacists as she rises in her career, and be part of their training support program. Like at Luth, we have a pharmacist who works in the ICT department, so she's in charge of that. And I know they do a lot of trainings for the staff team. Alternatively, another one, although it's not patient facing, is in medical sales. It's client facing, so you will interact with other healthcare professionals, but we don't interact with patients per se. But you interact with doctors, with pharmacists, and of course you're always training them on your company's products, whether it's medication or vaccines or devices, whatever it is. So that also has a training aspect to it. So yeah, other than that, I guess academia is your core training career option, but not too much patient focus there. But maybe she could do, the academia side and then also work within the hospital to see patients. That could be another one. Yeah, so that would be my advice to her. I think she just needs to explore, and don't be afraid to start in one path, because you can easily move to the next. I started in hospital pharmacy, but I always locumed on the weekend in community pharmacy for extra money. And so I always had hospital and retail experience alongside. And then coming to Nigeria, I've now gotten the other side of industry experience in terms of medical sales rather than research. And I haven't had any academia experience, but I've had a lot of opportunities to train. I train my colleagues, and of course, like I said, the healthcare practitioners as well, who you speak with on a daily basis. So I think with pharmacy, you can be as creative as you want. When you start somewhere and you see opportunities, there's always prospects for progression, and things will be created for you. Like my assignment role, they saw that there was an interest there. I had the right skill sets, and I'm the regional change management lead for Africa Middle East, which is a huge role for a rep to have alongside. And it happened, so I think just put yourself out there, start somewhere. As long as you're enjoying yourself, and you're giving your best, something will come out of it. And obviously, since she knows what she likes, she can actively seek out opportunities wherever she is to train. Let them know I'm interested in training as well. And I'm sure they'll be only too happy to give you that opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very, very, very much, ma'am. Thank you. I got what you said when you shared your experience in retail pharmacy. And that's a fact. The fact that many retail pharmacies in Nigeria are one-man businesses and do not have great prospects for young pharmacists who are looking for opportunities to grow in their careers. So what would you suggest to someone who is actually interested in retail pharmacy, but is also looking for an opportunity for growth?
And I think someone who's interested in retail pharmacy, so long as you have the interest, stay with wherever you are and grow, learn the ropes, and save or find investors who would, take a chance on you and open your own pharmacy. The retail pharmacy I was working at, I bumped into a co-worker there when I think sometime last year. I hadn't seen her in like 7 years since I left that company. And I asked her, I said, oh, where are you now? And she said, I have my own pharmacy and I'm about to open the second branch. And I said, wow. So I think being a pharmacy owner is not something that is out of your reach. Yes, it's probably not one of those opportunities that you can start with zero capital. I know I gave that example, but you will need to have to buy the drugs and have them on your shelf when the patients come. But there's nothing to stop you from coming into deals, Pharma company will, the sales officers would supply you and give you maybe like, a 2-week to 1 month time frame before you have to pay. So actually, if you sold your drug within that time, then you would have the money to pay for it. So you probably just need the rent for a facility and maybe, shelves if it wasn't an existing pharmacy. So I think it's something that is very, very doable. But I would say, start in an already established company as an employee, get the necessary knowledge because, running a business, you need a lot of more skills. You don't learn how to run a business in pharmacy school. So if you're looking after someone's business and you're doing it well, you would definitely be able to look after your business. In Lagos here, the man who runs one of the biggest wholesalers in Lagos was a pharmacist working for Health Plus. And he was the one looking after the business while Mrs. George was in the UK. And when she came back, I guess he decided to start his own business, this time in wholesale. And he has a very successful wholesale business because he had very good work ethics. I mean, he grew that brand, he grew Health Plus. So if you can do that for someone's pharmacy, there's no how that your own will not prosper when you start it. So I think someone who's committed to community pharmacy, definitely start work and after a few years, look at doing your own. Also try and identify what sort of things you want to do that is different from everyone else. Although we have the population to guarantee success, because Lagos, Nigeria is a huge country. There's no how. Business will always, if you're doing it right, not that you don't turn up for work today or you say you will do something and you don't do it. If you're diligent, you will succeed. But then also look at how can I make my pharmacy different? There's a pharmacy in Surulere, which is right next to almost like a medical surgery. They have a doctor and a nurse who are always on duty at the same time as the pharmacy is running. So the doctor is consulting and sending the prescriptions to the pharmacy. Their pharmacy is dispensing and selling. So they work together. How many patients need to see a doctor but are afraid of the cost of buying card? the cost of registration, the cost of so many costs that they'll tell you to do before you can even see a doctor. So if someone has thought about this model where you get to see the doctor the minute you say, oh, I want to see a doctor, you just go in, you pay your consultation, the doctor prescribes, and you're good to go. There's no card or any of those funny things, you know? So you can also set up more of those. I think that is a very, very brilliant model. And I think it will definitely thrive in Nigeria. In terms of even the vaccination clinics I was talking about, having something like that where you have a nurse, a doctor on site, there's no reason why that sort of pharmacy cannot also be doing vaccinations. And you can imagine something like that if you had it across the road from you and maybe you had to get your travel vaccines and you could just go to your pharmacy. Why would you go to the hospital and queue for hours when you can just walk in the pharmacy, get it done within 5-10 minutes? So the pharmacy is really well placed to offer all healthcare needs within the community. I mean, apart from, serious life-threatening conditions, minor ailments can be handled. So I think there's a lot of prospects in the community pharmacy setting, and I would encourage her to, start working, get the experience, and then go and open one by herself, and then maybe make her own the next big branch, even bigger than Help Plus, Med Plus, and the rest of them. I mean, there's nothing stopping you. The sky's the limit. So go for it.
Beautiful response from you, ma'am. Beautiful response. Indeed, there are loads of prospects in community pharmacy. If we can have more pharmacists to begin to think about how they can deliver value to patients and advance the cause of healthcare, especially setting pharmacists to be almost like the next public health primary health centers, so to speak, because our primary health centers do not even live up to their names. But we have more pharmacies striving to fill in that gap. And if we can have more pharmacists deliver more value to patients, add more healthcare services, including the vaccination service you mentioned, that would definitely go a long way in reshaping the retail pharmacy space and positioning us to be more efficient and effective solution providers to people in the community. Thank you so much, Ma. I'd like to ask, okay, there's a comment in the chat section, and someone wrote, Estella wrote, a nice presentation, ma'am. Please, for those who intend to travel to the UK, is IELTS the only exam we are to write? Also, what's your take on online pharmacy services and opportunities therein?
Okay, thank you for your question, Esther. Unfortunately, I have no idea about the first question. Just simply, I'm sure you'll understand, my journey was the other way around. So I never had an ambition of going to the UK as a pharmacy graduate. I was there since I was 8. So I honestly don't know what the requirements are. I'm sorry, I can't I can't help you with that. But for online pharmacy, what's my take? I think I would need more context. But like I mentioned, it's something that is very valid. It's something that has a place. And I think as we continue to improve the logistics services within the nation, it's something that definitely has the propensity to take off well. I can tell you that in the retail pharmacy I was in, we actually launched an online pharmacy. So I was part of that, and we used to get orders. So I think, you have to be creative. And while I was with this pharmacy, I did a lot of marketing for them. So I went out to all the neighboring schools and I let them know that we can supply their sick bay equipment. So we were at that time supplying, I wouldn't name them, but like the top schools in GRA and colleges were supplying their sick bay routinely. We also partnered with a HMO to provide medicines to patients. So HMO patients, rather than going to hospitals or getting the medicines in the hospitals, because obviously the hospital markup was a lot higher. So it made better sense. It was better value for the HMO to send their patients rather to a pharmacy. So these are areas that I just sat down, I identified, and I just reached out to them. Would you be interested? And I remember going to meet the heads of these HMOs, presenting myself and saying, this is it, this is our price list, we can do this. And they started sending their patients to us. They would call ahead. We set up an online pharmacy. We used to, at that stage, import a lot of our stuff. So if you walked into our pharmacy, it was like you were in a Boots or a Walgreens. We had a lot of American brands, a lot of UK brands. So people would go online and just buy, because they couldn't get it anywhere else. They'd order from us and we'd send it with our dispatch rider. So we had an online pharmacy. We had a lot of pharmacy services. In fact, I actually really enjoyed my time in the community setting. So I have a lot to say about that, and online pharmacy as well, because I had experience with that. So I know that there's a number of centers that also have online pharmacies right now, and I think they're also successful. I mean, obviously, I don't know about the individual businesses, but I've heard of a number of other online pharmacies. I think Mercure has something like that as well, because I know someone who's working with them. So I think it's definitely there's opportunity. You have to just start, market yourself, advertise, and get your clients online. And obviously, if you have a good logistics, where the person can order and get it maybe next day, they'll be very happy, and they'll be happy to come back and reorder. Because if you have too much lag and that same item is available just down the road, then that might not be such a good model, unless it's something that the person wanted to buy discreetly. So that's another avenue. If you're selling things that people don't want people to know they're buying, then obviously you definitely have a niche market there. So I think online pharmacy is definitely going to take off in Nigeria, because Nigerians are online a lot more. People are on Instagram and everything. So that's even a good place to advertise your pharmacy. So yeah.
Thank you very much for your response, ma'am. When you shared your experiences in community pharmacy, I was so excited to hear that you went the extra mile. And that's why it turned out to be a very interesting experience for you. Because of my relationship or my interactions with a number of young pharmacists, I know that not many young pharmacists are willing to step out of their comfort zone. So you find a young pharmacist employed in a pharmacy, in a retail pharmacy, expecting to get paid huge amounts of money, but not willing to step out of his or her comfort zone. I liked that you mentioned that you went out to schools to strike negotiations with them to say, could we supply a sick bay? Could we supply a sick bay? You went to companies. I think you mentioned that you went to companies, HMOs, and so on. You looked for new markets, so to speak, for your pharmacy. And that brought a lot of excitement and, of course, profit and growth for the business. But you don't see so many young pharmacists these days wanting to step out of their comfort zone. They say, oh, I was paid to attend to my patients, and this is all I've got to do. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I think it's a very valid observation, and it's something I've also observed. This is why I took the angle I took with opportunities, being right where you are. Because if you're someone who cannot find opportunities in Nigeria, there's no way you're going to find them when you travel out. The reason I say this is because when I was in the UK, I mentioned I used to locum on the weekends. So I had my job in hospital. Working with the NHS is not the best pay, but it's okay, it's fair, and if you can convert it to Naira, it's $1 million. It's a lot. But at that time, as a young pharmacist, I didn't really have much else I was doing. So it was like, okay, why don't I just go and work and get extra money? Why not? So what I used to do with these community pharmacies is they called people depending on, there were a lot of other pharmacists rather. So one thing I did to differentiate myself is I'd go into the pharmacy. I wouldn't stop working from the minute I got there till the minute I left. I would dust their shelves. I would tidy up. It was like, I did everything. I was the house girl. I was the everything. I did everything because I knew that the next time they were looking for a locum, they would call me. So I basically secured myself in that place. There was nowhere I went to that did not call me over and over and over. And there was a time I was doing locum for Boots. I had work every weekend because the pharmacy manager who was coordinating the locum thing used to get good feedback about me. So there was no time I wanted to work, I didn't have work. Coming back to Nigeria was not like in the UK. In the UK, the best I could do was dust their shelves and tidy up the dispensary and make things look nice and, you know, try and make an impact because the customers were already assured. There was the NHS pays for, you know, a lot of people come and get free medicines. The elderly don't pay. So they're not going to not come to the pharmacy. They will be there. And like I said, they also have this attitude of entitlement. So they'll be there making noise and telling you to give them their drugs because it's assured. So the customers were assured. In Nigeria, in this pharmacy I was working in, it was the second branch for the store. They had one in Ikoyi. So when I started there. When they started the Ikeja branch, I was the person who was managing that. In fact, I was called the pharmacy coordinator. That was my role. So I was like above the pharmacy managers. But my job was to make the business a success. So I had to put my marketing hat on because when we opened, believe you me, this was a pharmacy that was huge, 3 floors high. We had everything from wheelchairs to anything you wanted. And people were not coming. Now, I couldn't just sit down and fold my hands. Stock was expiring. I had to go out. So there was a necessity. And I put myself in that position to say, okay, I'm going to do that. My job description did not have, you must meet this target. I mean, that was probably the pharmacy manager's job. But they did expect me to basically make the business a success. So I had to start thinking, things that we do in the UK. Okay, what can I do to get more trade? We have a lot of schools here. Schools have sick days. Let's go and get that. We got that business. Okay, insurance. What can we do? How can we tap in? I learned that, you know, the markup in pharmacy was a lot cheaper than the markup in hospital. So I said, okay, that's obviously like a money-saving avenue right there. So we went into that space as well. What else did we do? I set up clinics. I set up weight loss clinics. We had a lot of weight loss stuff. So I set up this, I called it like a clinic, like, you know, free weight loss, free weighing. They will come in, I'd weigh them, I'd measure their bellies, their arms, everything. I'd sell them exercise videos. I'd sell them apple cider vinegar. I'd sell them all sorts of things and tell them to come back again in like 2 weeks and let me know how you go on. I'll call them. So, you know, they had all this, you know, extra care and attention from me. So they'd come back and they would use all this stuff. I mean, people in the store used to just smile whenever I carried my clients' till because they knew I'd loaded them up with everything that we had that was normal, exercise DVD, yoga ball. We had so much. So I just had to basically generate an avenue to make it a success. And I would say I was in a place that actually had a lot. So it would have been shame on me if that business had failed. And I took ownership. I took it as if it was my business, because one thing you have to realize in life is you get what you give. If you don't give all that you have, these so-called opportunities, you will never see them. They'll be right in front of you. You will never see them. You have to give to get. And the more you give, the more you get. So, I mean, you know, in Nigeria, obviously we have the other angle of, you know, people who are corrupt, and it looks as if they're really making things, and they making money look so easy. And a lot of our young people are so attracted to that, or Yahoo and things like that. But you need to work. There's value in working with integrity. It will surely come back to you. No one who works faithfully will ever lack. Work and give your best. Yes, they paid you just to, you know, offer pharmaceutical services, but you're in Nigeria, there's Hamatan, your whole shelves are looking dusty. Customers are not going to want to come in and be touching dusty stuff. It's going to look old and they're going to walk out and go somewhere else. Preserve your stuff. Let your pharmacy look nice. The worst thing I find is when I walk into a store and the sales associate is on their phone. Maybe they're watching African magic or some, I don't know, what is that thing called? Evoco. Like, they're watching some movies or something, and they don't even acknowledge that your customer is king. You have to treat your customer as king. When someone walks in, be ready to serve. Even if he was dead before, they're there now. Find something to do. Don't just sit around. If you do that, opportunities will come to you. You'll be shocked. My role as change management, I did not interview for it. They didn't even advertise it. They just called me and spoke to my manager and my country manager, and I got it. It's the easiest one I've ever gotten. So these things, it will always come back to you in some other way, shape, or form. It may not be right there and there, but it will come back to you. So what I'll always say is to our young ones, please, 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 before the time that is above you, people used to work with integrity in Nigeria. People valued the name. Your name could open doors for you. Don't sacrifice that. Don't throw it away so cheaply. Don't be seen as someone who has nothing to give but expects to get everything. Work hard and things will come to you. Don't instant gratification. It's not something that you can just sit back and expect, oh, I'm a pharmacist now, they should be paying me this. No, and unfortunately for you, they don't even pay that much in pharmacy. So, I mean, I keep laughing when people say, oh, you came back. And I'm like, no, if I knew I was coming back, I wouldn't have trained as a pharmacist in the UK. I would have trained as a civil engineer or chemical engineer and worked in an oil company. Like, I keep saying that, frankly, or a banker, because we don't value pharmacists in this country, and we should. But nobody will value you if you don't value yourself. You keep conducting yourself in an inferior manner, you're unwilling to do anything or go the extra mile, you don't appear professional, no one is going to increase your salary. You need to do the work first. Let people see that it's as if this pharmacist, we need more of them around, though. Then the money will come. Let's change the outlook for pharmacy. And I definitely believe we can do that, because young people also have the best ideas. Have the idea and be brave, be bold. I mean, we have a lot of young Nigerians who are coming back to Nigeria. I read a story on LinkedIn the other day about this guy who set up an airline. It's an investment banker in America, and he's come to set up an airline. I haven't seen their planes. I haven't traveled recently, but I heard that story and I was like, wow. And the guy looked really young. But because he's an investment banker, I guess he had money or he had access to venture capitalists or something. He's come back with an airline to run in Nigeria. And I'm like, wow, if Nigeria was such a bad place, he wouldn't have come back. He would do it in America. But guess what? America has enough airlines. So the opportunities are not in the abroad. The opportunities are more here, because even the basic, anything you want to think about, it's an opportunity. Anything you desire from over there, just think about it. What do I want most that they have over there? And make it here. It's an opportunity. Over there, you can't go and do the 100th. Where's the profits? How many customers are you sharing with all these other people? But over here, you may be the first person to do that. And everyone will jump on that wagon. They'll jump on that service. Like I've said, pharmacy, you have transferable skills. You don't have to stay in pharmacy, you can go and set up an airline. We'll all fly your plane if you're doing well. Abi Taiwo, wouldn't you fly?
I definitely would. I would.
Thank you. So I think I've said enough on that. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you so much. It has been lovely listening to you and learning from you. There is another question in the comment section, and Musina is asking. She says, thank you for the presentation, Ma. Please, what are the opportunities or sections of industrial training that students are open to in the pharma industries in Nigeria? So in pharmacy school, during the holidays or even during the sessions, students have an opportunity to sort of intern in a pharmaceutical company or even in a community pharmacy, wherever they wish. So that's the industrial training, IT. So she's asking what opportunities are available to students, what IT opportunities are available to students in pharma companies or in the pharmaceutical industry.
Wow, I think that's a very good question, and I wish I had a response that would be more positive. To be honest, when you talk about the pharma industry, beyond the multinationals, we also have our indigenous companies, our local manufacturing companies, which I believe they have larger operations, because what you would notice with the multinationals is all we're doing really is sales. And from when I joined Pfizer back in 2015 to now, our numbers have declined. There's fewer reps, fewer office staff. So opportunities are not so great within the multinational farmers. I haven't heard of any of them that do internships per se, but they do hire once you're done with your internship, your NYSC, then opportunities are available. I would say perhaps explore the local indigenous companies like Emzo or Fitson. They may have opportunities for ITs. I'm not aware, so I can't comment on that. But for the ones that I'm aware of, it's from when you are a pharmacist that like a fully qualified and NYSC everything pharmacist, that you'll be able to tap into them. So yes, please. I think I can see a question about Pfizer as well. Was that for internship also? Yeah, so no, there's no internship opportunities. Although we are currently recruiting for for medical sales reps rather. I think there was a vacancy in Calabar that was advertised not long ago. So I think those are the opportunities really. It's when you finish your program. And I would encourage you to definitely come. It's a very good organization, as is Sanofi, Roche, any of the multinationals are really good. Even the indigenous companies as well, because obviously we have to also encourage ourselves. So I do think that opportunities there would also be quite good. And I would ask you to seek out these internship opportunities. So if there's a company near you, or you know someone in the company, ask them. Maybe they do have these opportunities. And at times, we also need to let our services be available, perhaps free of charge, so we can just get that experience. So I would say if you get maybe a local company, just even if they don't have any ITs, like as it's structured, or internships, you can just say, but can I just work with you? Just work in your, whether it's manufacturing or admin or whatever. Can I just learn? Just ask to learn and offer your service for free. And if you do it well, when they need someone to fill a specific role, you would be first that would come to mind, because they've already worked with you. You've worked with joy. You've given your best. They know you. You'll be the first to hear. So make these connections. If there's anything around you, any company, whether it's hospital, whether it's community, whether it's manufacturing industry, make that contact. Offer your services. Offer yourself. Can I be coming in the mornings? Can I, like during the holidays? I'm talking about. I'm not saying leave your pharmacy studies, but make yourself available and offer your service. It will pay off. Thank you.
Very true. Very true. I agree with you. Volunteering is very, very important and very useful for anyone who seeks to build a great career. It's a learning opportunity. It's an opportunity to get your foot in the door, especially with an organization that you aspire to work in. Definitely helps you to expand your network as well. So yes, by all means, volunteer in any cause you're interested in, volunteer in any organization pursuing any cause that you're interested in. Thank you so much. It has been a delight listening to you for over an hour, almost an hour, 30 minutes, in fact. Thank you so much, Ma. It has been great listening to you, learning from you, and I believe that participants believe same as well. Thank you very much. Thank you. So I would like to call one of the participants to give the vote of thanks as we round off this session. So I will call on, oh, we've got our second facilitator joining in, Fam Folake Odediran of Sanofi. Wonderful. She just joined. All right, so I'll call Manuela to give the vote of thanks to Fam Abisola Ayodele for the insightful session we just had.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Pam. It has been really insightful, and let me just say I'm so glad to listen to you, because this is a different perspective. You know how everybody talks about going out of the country, traveling, even the whole seminars and webinars on how to get out of the country, and that's almost everything that we've been hearing. But coming from your perspective as someone that has been out there, and you're telling us now that there are even more opportunities. Yeah, I hope it changes the mindset of many of the listeners here in this meeting, because it has definitely changed mine. And I am now looking inside, looking at my backyard, like he said in the story. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for this session. It has been life-changing, and I'm sure every other person that was listening can agree with me. So thank you very much, Ma. And we also want to connect with you. I don't know where it's I would really love to connect with you. I'm sure other persons think the same way too. Thank you very much, Ma.
Thank you, Manuela. Manuela shooting her shot already. So, Fam Ayodele, ma'am, do you mind sharing how the participants could reach out to you?
Yes. Okay. I think perhaps LinkedIn might be best. I can share my LinkedIn handle so you guys can find me.
Great. Thank you. Thank you once again, Ma. It has been wonderful listening to you. Lots of light bulb moments, really. Thank you so much. Thank you. So
Thank you all. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. So before we move into the next session, we would like to take a few words from some of you participants. It has been 5 months of learning, 5 months of networking, 5 months of being extraordinary, 5 months of being unconventional pharmacy students. And I definitely applaud all of you who have chosen to take a bet on yourselves and do something different. You know, right here in this program, we have pharmacy students from different levels, final year to 100 level. We have about 200 or 300 level students in this program. And we had many people who applied from 300, 400, 500. Some were not even selected, but we had outstanding applications from 100 level students, and some of them are here today. I would just like to receive some words from some of you who would volunteer to share what your experience has been so far in the Pharma Incubation Hub, the 5-month program with series of leadership sessions, the research hub, the mentorship. You've had opportunity to learn from pharmacists and non-pharmacists. Some of you are even mentored by non-pharmacists, medical doctors, for example, and you've had fantastic experiences as well. So if you would like to share your experience, please raise your hand so I can call you. Yes. So if you'd like to share your experience so far in Pharma Incubation Hub, please raise your hand so that you can be called upon. Okay. Thank you, Fam Ayodele. So please connect with her on LinkedIn at Abby Ayodele. Wonderful. So yes, so review time. Review time. Who would like to go first? Please raise your hand so you can be called upon. We could take about 3 before our next facilitator comes on board. All right, so I will be calling Aliu Yahaya, followed by Olakuleyin Adebusuyi, and then followed by Somto Ezima. So Aliu, you have the floor.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
So my experience with Farmer Incubation Hub, just can I say accidental or a rewarding opportunity? Because when I saw the advert or the publication to apply, so I was just like, let me just give it a try. Just a few months, I saw a reply that I was selected. So right from the day one to up to this day, I've seen Farmer Incubation Hub as very impactful and lots more. Networking skills, LinkedIn optimization, even interacting with so many professionals. Because now I can feel like just meet a DG of an organization, how to network with big men. Can I say in quotes, big men too, and network to someone who is not in my pharmacy field, and also not in medical field, although. Hello?
Yes, please go on.
Okay. So especially the mentorship session where we have clear vision. I believe every participant have a clear vision on his career by now. Just 2 months of the mentorship session. All I have to say is thank you for my incubation hub and the hub managers, and you, the chief convener, can I say, and from Omolaya too. Thank you very much. From Adebisi Yusuf, from Christy Oni. We thank you very much.
Thank you, Aliu. We are so glad that you've derived value so far in the course of the program. Thank you. Olakuleyin, you have the floor.
All right. Good evening, everyone. I believe you can hear me. So my name is Olakuleyin Adebusuyi. I'm a second-year student at the Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Ibadan. And I'd like to share my pharma incubation experience so far. First of all, I'd like to appreciate the conveners, hub managers, and participants of Cohort 3 for the job well done in the last 5 months. I remember when the application came out and I had to apply, I was not sure if I would get it, but then it was just a challenge for me to actually do something out of the normal schedule and to build up myself as a pharmacy student. And through these sessions, even though some of them came at a time where I was trying to fit in with the virtual mode of learning and also write tests and exams, I was able to actually learn to also take up new challenges, take up new tasks, and to build relationship with participants in the cohort. And it's also helped me to see that pharmacy is beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's a global thing. It's something that we need to prioritize in Nigeria and to ensure that pharmacists are recognized in the healthcare team. Also, I noticed that the mentorship program came at a point where I needed it because I was quite unsure of my journey into technology. But with that, I was able to figure it out and I'm able to get a certification in data analysis. And it's also helped me a lot. So I'm very grateful for the mentorship. I'm grateful for my mentor, Famurola Oyewusi. I'm also grateful for all the sessions we had. The book reviews were amazing, listening to different perspectives from various people, the town hall discussions, the fireside chats, the the debate as well, and also the times we had to give reports, it actually helped me to become more accountable in my journey as a student. So I'm grateful for the experience overall. I'd like to ask if I can volunteer with the team next year. And I would also like to invite more students to join the program in the next cohort. Thank you very much.
Amazing, amazing. So good to know that you got immense value from the program so far. And yes, we look forward to having you on board, hopefully, as a volunteer for the next cohort. Before we take the next testimonial from Somto, we'll need to have the next session. So Somto will come after the facilitator. And it's indeed a pleasure to have pharmacist Folake Odediran, who made our time to speak with you all, future pharmacists, in spite of her very busy schedules. So I will ask Fam Timileyin, Fam Timileyin, is she here? To please share. Okay, yes. Fam Timileyin, to please share the profile of pharmacist Folake Odediran. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Daiwo. Thank you so much, Ma, for joining in despite the stress and the busy schedule. We're so glad to have you around. So, pharmacist Folake Odediran is a passionate and connected visionary business leader. She has a frame of management that liberates and mobilizes energies within a system. She believes in empowered and accountable teams and in the value of a shared purpose. Currently, she's the general manager of General Medicines and Country Lead Nigeria, working in a common purpose with the Nigerian team as she chases the miracles of science to improve people's lives. She has 2 decades of broad experience in the pharmaceutical industry and demonstrated success across multiple roles such as business management and transformation, strategic leadership, general management, sales and marketing management. And she has a track record of success across a variety of products and beyond borders. She's an aspiring leader who picks up new things and learns on the fly. She brings pace, energy, and candor to get where she needs to go. And she finds patterns in disparate pieces of information. She also applies clarity and context to choices and takes the next step. Can we give pharmacist Odediran an e-clap as she takes the floor? I was so glad to have you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Omalayo. Hello, everyone. Incidentally, my video is not coming on for some reason. So today is just one of those days. I'm just coming in from the airport. I've been away. I really, really apologize. Omalayo and Tim contacted me for this meeting over a year ago. And I didn't want to disappoint you guys. And even though I'm really tired, I said, whatever it takes, even if it's just to speak with you guys for a few minutes, I will do that. So I'm glad I'm able to do that to demonstrate the honor that the pharmacists are known to have. Omalayo and team, thank you so much for having me, Pharma Incubation Hub. I'm honored. I don't take it for granted. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? I can't see your faces. And you can't see my either, right? All of your cameras are off. Do you want to put them on? So how are you guys? Can you hear me very well? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you.
If your network can handle it, put your cameras on. Let's have a bit of a chat, yeah? So that we make this worthwhile. Omalayo and Taiwo have asked me to speak with you guys on making the most of opportunities. I thought that's phenomenal, really. Thank you, Pharma Incubation Hub, for having me. And I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing because what you're doing for me is a proof of concept of how you make the most of opportunities. So you're not waiting to be told, you're not waiting for someone to create the opportunity, you're grabbing what you have. You're working with co-compatriots in 100 level, 200, 300, 400, across the layers and across the cadre. That, in my view, is how you make the most of opportunities. So I'm happy to be doing this with all of you. I'm just gonna chat with you guys for a while, give you maybe just 1 or 2 slides. I don't really want this to be boring, though I'm tired. And then I'll open this up and you can ask me any question with regards to my journey, with regards to the opportunities I've taken. And then probably that can unravel a whole lot more. I'll tell you 2 quick stories, and then I'll show maybe 2 or 3 slides, and then we can keep the questions rolling. So I was flying in from Abuja. I just came in from Abuja, actually. And I was at the executive lounge because my flight was delayed it was meant to be 2 hours, but eventually it was delayed for 5 hours. And I sat down with this young, I guess I'll say young woman, I just said hello when I got in at the lounge. She was busy doing all manner, eating biscuit, eating this, she was just all over the place. But she also had an HP laptop and she was working. So I just inferred that she's probably an executive, but that's how it went. Now, usually when I travel, if I'm not reading, I don't do too much of fiddling on phone, really. And again, for me, maybe I'll take my conversation from that as one of the ways you make the most of opportunities. What do you do with your time? You go Instagram 4 hours. You are chatting with Instagram with somebody that is at home and you are in school. Who do you think is benefiting? You are at work. You are behind the counter as a superintendent pharmacist. You're in your Instagram. You're chatting with someone who is on holidays. Look at that. Do you think that is even fair on you? You're looking at somebody else's post. Some are probably educative. Some others are just, the posts don't even have any bearing. And you're just there like that 1 hour, 30 minutes. Anyways, I said that to say, I did a bit of 1 or 2 checking on my phone, at least to contact people who are expecting me. Someone was waiting to pick me at the airport to say my flight had been delayed for about 5 hours. And then I started working, I was reading a book, Soul Prints. For those who follow me on Twitter, I tweeted a few lines from that book just this evening. But something remarkable happened. It took about 3 hours. We were like 3 hours gone in the lounge. I had not said a word aside when I said hello. The lady was just she was a bit of a busy person. People who are busy, I'll put it like that. And then I read a line from the book. I was reading, of course, by myself. And I think I said, And then she said, that must be interesting. She said, that must be interesting. And I said, oh yeah, it is. I just saw something that I like. So I shared with her what it was that I saw. And she was so excited. And then the next thing she's saying, please, can she have my WhatsApp? That can I forward it to her? And I said, it's not a problem. So she gave me a number and I forwarded it to her. And then she introduced herself. She said she works for United Nations. She's into startups and all that. And I thought of Omalayo quickly because of what she's in. I've never met her. I don't know if I have. But the Pharma Incubation Hub came to my mind because this meeting, if I'm not mistaken, was scheduled for 12 noon. And my flight was for 10:30. So ideally, I should have been landing about the time this meeting would have held. So I'd asked her to move it to 5:30. So as soon as she said she works with Africa Bank, is it Africa Development Bank, and they work with innovators and startups, I thought of Pharma Incubation Hub. I'm going somewhere. And then she goes, oh, she really liked those quotes and all that. And then she introduced herself. She said she works with entrepreneurs, with startups, they identify talents, and they help them to secure loan from the African Bank, and sometimes also sponsorships or even outright sponsors by other technocrats for their innovation. I thought that was brilliant. And I said, that's fine. And then she asked what I do, and I told her that when I lead a team of about 200 people, the MD of Sanofi in Nigeria and in Ghana. And she said, okay, I know that. She was very excited. She didn't even know Sanofi. And then I had to tell her as a pharma company. I said, oh, okay. And then the next thing, she said she's a bit overwhelmed that actually the reason she's been all over the place is because she has to gloss through about 90 CVs because they are trying to identify startups. There's a role they had posted or something. I didn't really grab the details very well, but that they are trying to identify who and who to even shortlist. And she needed to shortlist just about 10 people for the first category and then 5 people for the second layer. And she's got about 90 CVs, not just in Nigeria, across Africa and what have you. And she's really a bit struggling with how to shortlist because she doesn't even know who is where and all that. And I said, you shouldn't struggle with a shortlist because you're looking for something that you probably know. So what is the role? And what are the basic skills or capabilities that a would-be applicant should have? What you want to do is, if you have a software, depending on how your organization works, run all the CVs that you have through those who have those minimum. And she said, that's true. She's even forgotten the JD. Madam, thank you. And the next thing she's calling some colleagues of hers and she's asking for them to send her the JD for the role and all that. Why am I sharing this narrative? That opportunity presented itself because I was reading, because I don't know whether I made a sound that she heard. It caught her attention. She asked, she said, that must be interesting. I shared my thought. She asked me for the code. She introduced herself. I introduced myself. And the next thing, she's telling me about job opportunities and offer and what she does. If I was looking for a job, if I was a startup, I would have said, can I share my CV? But that was not what was really more fundamental to me. I think for me, what was really critical was the fact that I was also able to, in a way, without knowing her, influence the way she went about it. I don't know if somebody caught that. And because of some degree of capabilities that I have, I was able to guide her to say, oh, this is, you might probably want to explore this. Of course, I can't tell her what to do. I want to believe it's something that she explored. Of course, she took my details. She was very excited and all that. I started the example because it happened just with my tired state. See, opportunities don't come dressed up, labeled as opportunities. They present themselves as inconveniences. They present themselves as delay. They present themselves as trajectories of your life that you don't like. And that takes me to the subject even of uniqueness and gift. People think you identify your strength through your flair. Then they'll say, if you want to know your passion or your destiny, what do you like? Maybe not. Sometimes you also identify or you recognize your destiny and your opportunities through your weaknesses. And I'll tell you what I mean. It is a man's weakness that makes him to develop certain capabilities to make up for the weaknesses. And as you develop those extra capabilities to make up for your weaknesses, a lot of times you become an expert in an area you never wouldn't have been. If you look at people who are in some way living with some degree of disabilities, they've learned to do some things. Some people write with their toes. Now, you could say, oh, they are so unfortunate. But you see, they are doing something that even someone who is able-bodied will not do. So you see, sometimes the context that you find yourself could lure you if you allow it, or open you up if you allow it to an unusual world of opportunity. And I just wanted to share that story to say, don't limit yourself by where you have been, and don't label yourself by what you've been through, your experiences, your journey. It's all part of it. It all adds up. The whole of it is your journey. Your opportunities are your experiences. Your opportunity is that yellow box that you despise so much, but that you have to take every morning because you don't know who is seated next to you. Your opportunity is that pharmacy outlet where you are a PP, where they don't treat you well, but where you navigate tons and tons of people that you don't know who they are. Your opportunity is that difficult early days in that neighborhood where you are probably the most dressed young man or young woman. You are thinking, when will I live in Lagos? If you live in Lagos and you are not in a face-to-face, who will see you? So maybe I'm dragging this a little bit too much, but that was really a very pivotal experience for me today, and I thought I'll throw that in. The second experience was when I was starting out my career about 22 years ago. I had an opportunity to be a locum pharmacist in an outlet, in a pharmacy outlet somewhere in Ibadan. I'd been in the north in my life, all my life, so I'd never stayed in the western part of Nigeria. So I had this great opportunity to be just a locum pharmacist, really. That's just what I was. I was just straight out of school. I had not served. But you see, I was full of zeal and I was very passionate. And I loved to talk. And I talked away. And every time someone, a client, a customer wanted something, I was counseling, I was encouraging, I was guiding, I was proffering some degree of solution. I didn't know that the owner of the pharmacy noted the unique way with which I attended to customers. That was one. I didn't also know that their sales had increased so much that they extended their closing time from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. because there was this small girl who will not stop talking. Now, that was an opportunity, but I didn't even know. You know, I just tumbled into it. You know, that was just me. Throw back a few months later, they had NAIP conference. The owner of that pharmacy was the Oyo State chapter for NAIP. And the MD of the organization where I started my career was his classmate, and he was the NAIP president. So they met in Ibadan. They were talking about this young generation. You know, now we talk about Gen Z, but as of 22 years ago, we were also being called young. And they were talking about these young pharmacists that are graduating, how we're so different from them. And the owner of the pharmacy took some time to talk about this young girl, if you would, that he has at his premise, who is a locum pharmacist, and how the dynamics has changed, both in terms of business and clientship since I came on board. And the MD of the organization where I started my career, I said, you know what, we're recruiting, what do you call them? Medical sales representative. She looks like someone that could be a good medical rep. Give her my card. And the guy said, no, of course, now we even want to lose that kind of person. No, I'll never give her my card. But he took the card. And guess what? He didn't give me the card, but he gave the card to his own superintendent pharmacist. His name was Mr. Lawal. And he said, guess what? I met a friend, an old classmate, the president of NAIP, and he asked me to give this card to Falake. But of course I won't. But after he left for that day, Mr. Lawal called me and he said, Eti Emelo in Yoruba mean, how many years have you got? And he said, you were spoken so highly of, so much so that the MD of a company thought you could be a med rep. Why don't you apply? And I said, I don't even know. I heard one of the young men saying he didn't know about pharma incubator hub. One of the ways to discover your opportunity is to stumble into things you don't know. So I like you when you were telling your story. And the MD said, and the superintendent pharmacist said, why don't you apply? And I said, I don't even know how to go about it. I don't know what reps is about. He said, I'll apply for it. And he asked me to put a CV together. We did. And I think he submitted it. To cut a long story short, I was invited for that interview. I got that job. I started my career. I was best rep of the year for so many years. And I was there for like 5.5 years before I moved to the second organization where I worked. But I didn't Google that organization. I didn't go begging one uncle to say, I want to work in your company. I only had an opportunity to be a local pharmacist, and I was just me. And someone saw what I could do, and someone profiled what was good for me with regards to how I should approach my career. 20 years down the line, I'm the MD of a multinational company. I just want to beg you to say, don't despise your youth. Don't minimize your giftings. And please honor your challenges. It's okay, whatever it is. You cannot have a mother who fries akara and yam. You have learned to stand in the sun when it's hot. You have learned to handle angry bus drivers and bus conductors. You cannot now have opportunity to be part of an interview and then you hide that part of your story. That is one of the critical ways to show you can handle pressure. Few people have the capacity to manage people who are hungry, especially people who are a bit uncivilized or a bit on protocol. But that's what happened if you have to work in an amala joint, if you have ever had to sell agege bread, or if you have ever had to sell a kara. Maybe I'm being very practical, but I'm saying this is what we live with. So don't throw away a chunk of your life for something that is not real. And then they said, tell us where you have been or what have you done? And then you start talking about the 2 months that you have spent in a bank where you were not really doing anything. So opportunity comes dressed not as opportunities. They present as struggles. It comes as work. It could come as adversity. It could come as tragedy. It could come as abandonment. It could come as a difficult period in your life, but it could also be attractive. The opportunity is not really the challenge. The real work, the real piece of work is you and your mindset. What you do with the opportunity that life presents you and your mindset. I'm going to share my screen if it's okay. I'm going to run you through. I've got a couple of slides here, but honestly, again, I like to follow my heart and do things differently each time. Aside being tired, I just really, really want to pour my heart into you guys. So I'm going to avoid going too much into the slide and see, oh dear, what's going on here? Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
So really, I'm just going to jump this and see what we can make of this. We're not going to go into everything. Maybe just, I think I've got a couple of slides I would love to share with you guys, and they'll look excellent. I think we'll skip all this. So recognizing opportunities, that's what Omulara and team have asked me to speak about. How do you recognize it? I just want to say that 2022 presents a lot of open doors. And I would say that the whole of your career, the whole of your life, the whole of your time as a pharmacist, or any other vocation you may choose, present opportunities. I want you to walk through them. I really want you to walk through them. I don't want you throwing any of those opportunities away. Don't belittle them. Walk through them. To try and fail is at least to learn. To fail to try is to suffer the inestimable loss of what might have been. I repeat that. To try and fail is at least to learn. To fail to try is to suffer the inestimable loss of what might have been. When you take ownership and take the opportunity that life presents you, you build for yourself a repertoire of of exciting experiences. Even if the opportunity is not what you want, you would have learned a thing or two. I think opportunity is a good chance for advancement. Okay, the challenge is we never know if the chance is there or not. We want people to say, come on, we have a job for you. No. It doesn't, it may not present itself like that, but it's a good chance for advancement. It's a time or a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. Can you see? It is not a set of circumstances that is good or favorable. It just makes it possible to do something. It may not be a set of circumstances that are favorable, but it allows you to do something. The real opportunity is what you do with what you've been asked to do. Yeah. Of course, if you want to be a bit empirical about it, you could say an opportunity could be attractive. You will usually hope that our opportunities are attractive. A young lady wants the guy she's going to go out with to be 6 feet. A young guy wants her to have a dimple. We want it to be attractive. We want it to be durable. You want someone that drives a 4-wheel. You want a company where they give cars and they train and they travel every year. Timely, you want it to come. Once you are out of school, you want to get the job and then you want to have a 4-wheel drive. All these are good, but I'm saying it might not follow this order. But these are a few things you may want to look at as you assess the opportunity. But more importantly, you want it to be anchored on your values. And it means you need to maybe step aside and ask yourself, what is my value system? Who am I? What do I like? What triggers me? What excites me? Because then when you see something that looks, usually a lot of times we think we like certain things and we don't like certain things. Actually, the way we make choices, it's a function of our values. So another way to look at whether something is an opportunity is if it's anchored on your value. Do they have a value of honesty or integrity if those things matter to you? Do they have a value of excellence if aesthetics and excellence matter to you? Do they have a value? Is it a communal place? Is it an opportunity that allows you to rub off on others and to leverage the power of connectedness? Those are some things that you may want to look at. Now, there are several approaches through which an opportunity can be assessed. Okay, so you could choose to observe a trend. Yeah, for those who listen to me, observation is a powerful way. So maybe you observe that every morning, all children go to school except your neighbor's children. And you are back from school, you're an NYC and you're not doing anything. You can decide to start giving them lessons. That's an opportunity. If you don't observe, you will not know. I just cited that example. So sometimes also it could be by you studying, which means you can get on Google, you can do some search to find out, okay, what is the news saying? What are the reports saying? I don't know what informed farmer incubation, but I'm sure the team did some work and felt, okay, there's a gap here that I can fill. If you observe trends, if you observe patterns, you are able to find gaps within scenarios or within a system. And opportunity, a good way to maximize an opportunity is to fill those gaps, especially if you have capabilities for them. And if you don't have, at least try, you will learn a thing or two, finding gaps. So you can ask questions. So sometimes it's not only by observation that an opportunity presents itself, because maybe someone is saying, I've heard you, ma, but how do I know now that you can ask questions? Do you guys need the pharmacist? Do you guys need the volunteer? Do you guys need a pair of a second hand? You know, that kind of thing. And then you can identify a need. And then last but not the least, this I really like. And as you advance in your career, you'll find that this is very critical. So a good way to identify opportunity is to solve problems. It's a big one. And you can't solve problems if you don't prepare. So find out what the issues are, gather all the data that you can with regards to the subject matter. Incubate on it, just like the incubation hub is doing, which means spend some time. Incubation just means give it time, sit on it, think on it, give it time, build it, and then draw insight from it, evaluate, and then you elaborate. So when you solve problems, sometimes even for your parents, it could be an opportunity. Sometimes you drive your dad around, and then he goes, I didn't know this boy can drive well. He won't tell you, and then he's thinking, maybe I should sell my old car and buy my new car now that my son can drive. You see, that's an opportunity, but you didn't even know. So sometimes there are so many opportunities. If we don't solve problems, we miss the opportunity, the privilege of learning. And then my last slide, and I'll be out of here. I just wanted to share this with you. It's part of a big deck for some other work. There are a couple of dimensions. There are a couple of things that you need to do as an individual if you want to harness up. So it's not so much that you work for Sanofi or you work for Shell or you work, you are an intern in a teaching hospital. You are the PANS secretary or PANS president. It is not because you are you are the Secretary General of Farmer Incubation Hub. It's not the opportunity itself per se that matters. It is how you approach it and what you do with it. And that takes me to some school of thought with regards to how I think are some things that I think you could leverage or deploy as an individual. For example, for you to make the most of an opportunity, you need to be intentional about it. So the first thing I've got here is the power of intention. You need to visualize tomorrow, but you also need to value today. It is critical. You cannot just begin to think if tomorrow comes, like Sidney Sheldon. Guys, you need to make tomorrow come, yeah? And the way to make it come is just think, while you maximize and focus on today, you need to have a picture of tomorrow in your mind. So what life do you imagine for yourself? For those of you in 100 level, where do you see yourself by the time you're in 300 level? What are the 3 questions you're asking yourself? For those of you in 500 level, how do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself doing your internship or serving? For those who are just out of school and have been part of Farmer Incubation Hub for 5 months, where do you see yourself? So a good way to maximize your opportunity is to be intentional. Think, have a picture, have a view of something. The power of intention is the power to create. If you cannot think about it, you can't create it. Okay, I like this one, self-mastery. Guys, you need to get yourself up in the morning. You need to lead you. Develop character to function at the highest level of confidence. Sorry, I'm rushing through this. So my thought is, if you do not lead you, who will give you an opportunity to lead any other thing? So if you want to make the most of opportunity, get a grip on discipline. Learn to wake up early. Learn to make your bed. As simple as that. My grandmother would say, your bed is the first thing you see in the morning and the last thing you see when you get home. Learn to make your bed. Learn to wash your face. Learn to sleep early. Learn to discipline yourself to drop that phone when you should. I'm big on really, really discipline because you need to lead you. Self-mastery, daily habits, learn to get on the treadmill to shed off excess weight, learn to cut your hair, learn to be clean and tidy. So that if someone is looking for a clean person, they will say, Taiwo is my girl, and I'm working on her. So lead you. A third point is, I love this one. There's a lady, Carol Dweck. Dr. Carol Dweck is spelled Carol, Carol, as pronounced, Dweck, DWECK. She wrote a book, Growth Mindset. You may want to grab that book. It's going to help you a lot on your journey. So I actually recommend it if you can. So basic qualities, the growth mindset believes that things can be improved with effort. The fixed mindset believes nothing can be improved. So when you hear people say, I can never smoke, I can never drink, I can never date a Yoruba boy, okay, those are people with fixed mindset. Me, I can never drive when it's raining. No, you've boxed yourself up. But the growth mindset believe, maybe if I try, for now, I do not know how to do it, but if I apply, give it some time, I could drive. So growth mindset, basic questions can be cultivated. Basic qualities, I beg your pardon. Question your assumptions. What assumptions do you have about your life? So, and then as you begin to navigate your career, determine you're from here to where. So ask yourself, do a map. Where am I today? I'm at Agege. Where do I want to be in 5 years? I want to be in Banana Island. So do your where to, that kind of thing. Map it and your individual contribution to a people manager. That could be your from where today I report to others. Tomorrow I want others to report to me. That can be something you can work on, professional development. And I'm sure that is what the team at Farmer Incubation have been sharing with you guys. Build capabilities, build skills. It's not just Excel, it's not just PowerPoint, even articulation, yeah? Even how to project yourself. How do you speak when you're part of a panel? How do you speak when you are a keynote address person? What do you do, So develop capabilities to function at higher level of competencies. Get both technical and soft skill, communication, interpersonal skills, crucial conversation skills, critical conversation skills, conflict management and resolution, negotiation, and what have you. Develop your own growth curriculum. Aside biology, physics, chemistry that you did when you were in school, those were curriculums that were handed over to you. You need to build your own as you onward bound. And I think I've spoken to honoring the struggle. This is one thing that's helped me through life. I embrace my challenges. I face it alone. I don't blame my mom for it. I don't blame my state of origin for it. I don't blame my faith for it. I don't blame my tribe for it. I don't blame my neighbors for it. I don't blame my colleagues at work for it. Whatever life brings my way, I don't always have to like it, but I honor it. I take it, I learn what I can learn from it, and I move on. My dreams are valid. They are worth fighting for. And I say the same to you. Your dreams are valid. Your dreams are worth fighting for. So get a grip on passion and persevere, endure your journey, cultivate staying power, like you do in agriculture. The ability to stand on something needs to be cultivated. Don't hate the face of difficulty. Don't despise those years when you're young. I really wish I was 20 years younger. Trust me, you've got a lot going for you. With all the adrenaline pumping, all the testosterone and estrogen working at optimal level, make the most of your youth. Embrace it. Don't seek exemptions. Don't say, they've posted me to Akwa Ibom. No, I want to be relocated to Lagos. You just could miss your opportunity. Don't say, no, I don't want to work in Akure. You don't know what is waiting for you in Akure. Some acquaintances, some allies that you build from those exemptions, some allies you would have built, you may miss them if you seek exemptions. And I'll just stop here. I have a lot of slides, but I think I'll stop there. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. I love butterflies a lot. I like them whether they come as pictures, or whether I see real one, which is not usually often because I don't go out a lot, or whether they come as a brooch, yeah? And it's because of the face of life, from something that is not beautiful, from that lava, from that pupa, from something that is not exciting, to something that is thoroughly beautiful, and something that is adorable. And I'm just saying the struggle is part of how we get here. I'm happy to take your question. I'm gonna stop sharing my slide. Hit me, let's do this. I need to get out of here in another 15 minutes. That got a smile from Taiwo. I'm trying to speak like you.
So good. You were just pumping us. I didn't want it to stop. I hoped that you would extend the time, even if it's for a few minutes. Thank you so much, Ma. We honor you deeply. Thank you so much, Ma. I smelled when you mentioned the NYSC posting thing, or if you're posted to Akwa Ibom, don't say you wouldn't go there. I was posted to Kogi State. I'm currently in Kogi for my NYSC.
Well, awesome. Make the most of it, my dear.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So do we have questions? Questions. I know that you partly told us about your career trajectory, your early days career-wise. But what are the three key factors or three key attributes that you would say are responsible for your doggedness and your success so far, moving from a local pharmacist to a country manager, a continental leader, a world-class administrator? What would you say has been responsible for your career success so far?
Thank you, Taiwo. So there's a lot of elements. Sometimes it's difficult to narrow those kind of things down, but I will try and share from my heart a few things. I think the first thing is that I believe that my dreams are valid. And I think I've said that. So when I was growing up, I was raised by my grandmother. And she had this thing she says to me in Yoruba. She would say, Obetio Bokukinkan. Okay, so literally what that means is that a soup that is not much does not get sour. And that's because, and you know, that maxim came from when you don't have so much abundance, you won't allow the little that you have to get corrupted. But you know, she created an image for me that I was so unique and I was so peculiar to our family. I need to live life. I need to be the best at whatever it is. And I believed her just because she said it. I grew up hearing it. And you know, I believed it. I truly believe my dreams are valid. And I think that is really one of the things. So it has helped me to raise my ambition. From a little girl that went to school in the north, in the village, you know, to someone who traveled. If not for COVID, I'm usually in and out of, you know, I do a lot of traveling. I work for multinational organizations and what have you. So my point is, I believe that you need to raise your ambition. You need to have the picture of tomorrow, even if though tomorrow looks far, and then you need to work every day towards it. So I believe my dreams are valid. That's one of the reasons responsible for my success. I think the second thing I've already said, I work very hard and I do not quit. I'm no quitter. Now, there are two separate things. You can believe your dreams are valid and be a quitter. I'll tell you why. There was a time, I think in the second organization that I worked, and there was an echo mode and people were resigning. And I wanted to resign too. And my mom asked me, she said, for what? I said, this place is not good. Everybody is going. She said, the place is not good or you don't know how to do the work. I was so shocked. And I was so angry. I said, Mommy, guys, I don't know how to do it. Then she said, if you know it is not that you don't know how to do the work, then stay there and prove yourself. So I'm no quitter. I don't run away from challenges. I am not saying I succeed at everything. No, that's not what I'm saying. There were some things that didn't work, but I don't quit. Yeah, I think when you persevere, you need to stick it out. When you've got staying power, I think it helps you. And that doggedness comes from having that mindset of, I'm going to see this through. So I'm no quitter and I'm a very hardworking person. So I link that. There's a lot of points going in there. but I think I'll link that. And then the third one for me is still related to not being a quitter. I really honor my struggle. I do not blame others. Really, for me, I see people blame their mother, they blame their background, they blame their village, they blame their church, they blame their brother, their cousins, they blame their father who had them out of wedlock. Come on, you're already here. You might as well make your life count, really. I'm saying we are all pockets of issues. I'm saying we've all got stories. I'm saying go and see. Practically everyone that has left their print in the sands of time had to contend with something. That should tell you something. Practically everyone, Obama, whoever, Nelson Mandela, I mean, that guy was locked up for years. They contended with something. My question is, what are you contending with and complaining? Embrace it, hug it, and ask yourself, this will pass. Someday, this will be story. Yeah, I think for me, I work very hard. I raised my ambition. I mean, I have big dreams. I still have big dreams that maybe one day I'll be the president of US or Nigeria, really. Why not? Why not? Just think it. Do you know it's free to think? It's amazing. It's free to dream. The one that is not free is the one you're killing yourself for. It's just dream. If you want to be in US this night, just close your eyes and in your mind you'll be in US. It's enough. Now start like that. Yeah. Taiwo, I don't know whether that's what you were looking for. I work very hard. I don't quit and I embrace my troubles. That is amazing. Some of the things that have helped me on my journey.
Amazing, amazing. So good to know. From all that you have shared and from what I know of you while observing you from afar on LinkedIn and Instagram, I sense three things about you. I sense that you're a very energetic person, buzzing with high energy levels on a regular basis. I'm not sure whether that's true. I also sense that you're a very self-aware person. And I also sense that you're a lover of books. You're an avid reader. So what has helped you to be able to attain all of these?
Taiwo, now we're doing a psychological assessment of me. So I think my energy is God-given. I'm quite energetic. It's who I am, yeah? I think it's innate. I think it's God-given, really. But I'm also very passionate. I'm enthusiastic. And with passion is energy, yeah? And really, maybe it's also a good point to say that your energy needn't be the spirited one. You can also have a calm demeanor. What is just important is you need to burn with something. Even if you have a calm demeanor and you have a much more calm, lower level of energy, just make sure it consumes you enough for you to liberate. I talk about liberating the energy within a system. You've got to get others packed. You can't walk into a place and they don't even know you're there. It's not too good. So I guess maybe I would say that. What has got me going to be a lover of books? Because when you read, you discover. I did literature in school, even though I was a science student, but I had the rare privilege of doing literature. And as far back as 22, now maybe 27 years ago, I read The Old Man, The Sea, Ola wrote to me, The Lion and the Jewel, from Mbata and Rebecca, all manner. I read all the Pacesetter series, all the Harry Robbins, so many things, and it shaped not just my views of the world, my perspective, but it all did shape my horizon. It helped me to raise the level of my ambition. I grew up in the village, but through the pages of a book, you will think I was born in the United States. The truth is we limit ourselves by what we think we cannot access. Yeah, I didn't have so many things growing up, but through the pages of the book that I read, I knew so many things that even those who were in the cities, they didn't have. I'm not big on movies. Some people also learn from movies, but remember, movies is a bit, it's a whole lot of things. But book is intellectual work going on. I'm not saying movies aren't. So I think for me and because I discover when I read, I've been able to stick to it. I do love books. I do love it's you see, when you hear stories, you might have things that are real or not real, but when you read books, you don't just discover, you become, in my views. I mean, it's revelatory and it's powerful. And what was the third bit? You wanted my energy, my book reading.
Self-awareness.
So that is a deliberate, that's correct, right? I'm very self-aware. I know me, I know what I want, I know what I'm pushing for, I know where we're going, I know the progress we're making, I know what's working, I know what's not working. I'm not perfect. I love me, I like me, that kind of thing. I self-regulate, I empathize, I motivate, and I create my social crowd, yeah? What has helped me? I think I've worked in only 3 places so far, multinational organization. Being in that kind of setup started it off for me early. 2, I read a lot. That itself has helped myself on it. 3, I have a bit of psychology inclination, yeah? And I'm a student of leadership. I mean, you can't be a student of leadership and not be self-aware. I've done several psychometric tests on who I am and what I'm going to. And I really want to discover me because I want to unleash my potentials and I want to leave my footprints in the sands of time. How can you change another man when you don't even know you? Yeah, so a lot of us want to influence others, but we don't even know ourselves. You don't know your values. So I know the kind of, so I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. I've been at the airport. My sister was leaving for UK this morning, so I had to travel to Abuja yesterday, just to be very honest with you guys. Her flight was for 9 a.m., British Airways, which meant I was at the airport as early as 7. To make the airport for 7, I woke up like 5. We left the house maybe 5:36. We made 7. She checked in, and then I was meant to fly to Lagos for 10:30, and my own flight was delayed. I'm going somewhere. I'm tired. I landed in Lagos at exactly about 5 o'clock. I got to my house like 5:45, and I'm speaking to young pharmacists at 6. If you were going to pay me 1 million to be in a party, I won't go. But I'm not even sure pharma incubation will give me even water after this, but I'm doing this. You know why? Because it's linked to my value. Because my value is what? Help others to identify their potentials. I use that as an example around what self-awareness is. When you find what you will do even if you were not paid, then you're close to fulfilling destiny, yeah? So my value is to add to others. I want to share what I know with the world. I want others to spark up. I want to liberate what they've got. I'm not going to make you great. The greatness is in you. I just want to help you squeeze it out, yeah? I'm not the one who created you. I cannot make anybody great. I just want to help you unleash it. I'm self-aware because I read. I'm self-aware because I'm interested. I'm self-aware because I need to be. I'm self-aware because it is what it is. And you guys have got 10 minutes more. I'm self-aware because I manage time, so I'm going to go off in 10 minutes, except if there's any other question, unfortunately.
Nice. So good, so good. One question from participants, if you have questions, please type in the comment section, or if you'd like to speak, please raise your hand so you can be called upon. One more question from me is, you work in a fast-paced environment. How do you manage multiple responsibilities efficiently and effectively?
So Taiwo, it comes with the terrain, and then it comes with the experience I've acquired over time. I work in a fast-paced environment, but I've done that for 22 years. You're becoming, so after a while, when you've done something, it's just like driving. When you drive for 5 years, you become, so it comes with the terrain. So that's one. Secondly, it comes with my responsibility. I'm an MD. The role itself is fast-paced. I need to think on my feet. Regarding the Nigerian lands, the economic indices, I need to think ahead of my team. The only way you can be a visionaire or a visionary is to be a little bit a step ahead of. You're not better than the people, yeah, but you need to think ahead, yeah. So it comes with the terrain, it comes with the job. There's a bit of experience, but there's also the need to keep pushing myself. And I think between my experience and my aspiration, I'm able to find the fuel to get me going every day. So between my experiences that I've had and the aspirations that I have, I'm in the middle of both, and I'm able to find my fuel for every day.
Amazing, amazing. Participants, am I asking your questions for you? One more question from me. What 3 books have had the deepest impacts on you? I know you mentioned the growth mindset. Which other 3 books have had the deepest impacts on you?
I've read so many books, it would be difficult for me to narrow it to 3. But you can choose Carol Dweck, maybe not one of the ones that have had the greatest impact, but you can take Carol Dweck. There's this book by Abdul Rashid, I think the governor of Dubai. The title just escaped me now. There's a book that he wrote, so you can add that to the list. Turn the ship around, something around leadership. You can add that to your list. I mean, those are the quick ones that are coming to my mind. I read a lot. I'm voracious, trust me. I'm reading the book now, Soul Prince by Patterson. Yeah. But there's a lot of books in the context. I mean, I've read Michelle Obama's Becoming. It has some impact, but maybe not one of the greatest. Yeah. So, but you can just work with those ones. Unfortunately, the title for the one by the governor of Dubai escaped me, but it's a fantastic book. I love it. Yeah.
Amazing, so good, so good. One more question from me. How do you manage time effectively? Yeah, I know you spoke a bit about that regarding the fact that you've worked in this industry for so long and it comes with the territory. But how do you personally, because it boils down also to personal discipline, how do you manage
I
time
think you just
effectively?
answered it. I think you just answered it. Everything is about, there's a work I'm doing on mindset. I'll be speaking at the Farmer Says Hub, I'll be something on the 27th or so. I don't know what day. You guys can look out for it on my social media profile when I post it. I'll be speaking on ownership. Maybe you get to see that then. It gets, again, discipline is part of it, yeah? But also because I've been doing this for a while. I'll give you an example. As a rep, you're the manager of yourself to some extent, even though you have managers, but you're supposed to be at your duty post, at least depending on the organization you work for, as early as 8. But some people don't leave their house for 10. But as a rep, 7 a.m. I'm out of my house. So I've done it for so long. It's my way of life. I don't even get up so early nowadays because now my responsibilities are a bit different. I wake up early. When I say get up, I mean get into office. But probably I have some meetings at home already because I work remotely. But I think, Taiwo, it's largely around discipline, really. And then I've cultivated the habits over a period of time. And then I also place a high premium. You see, what you don't value, you can attract. I place a high premium on time management. So because of that.
Beautiful. So what are your last words, Ma? Some of us here are young pharmacists and most of the participants are pharmacy students. What are your last words for us, especially given your experiences and expertise in pharma industry and of course with your interactions with high flyers across other industries and across borders as well? What are your last words for those of us who look forward to building a thriving career?
Your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. Time is a currency in success. So give it time. It's not going to happen overnight. You're unique. You're beautiful. You're gifted. You're blessed. And even your failures count for something because they build for you a repertoire of experiences. Give yourself time. Yeah. Honor your struggle. You know, that kind of don't waste your pain. That's a good one. Don't waste your pain. Yeah. Don't waste your pain. And commit with the whole of your heart to whatever it is you're fighting for. Fight, commit to it as if your life depends on it. And it'll happen. I wish you well. I wish all of you well.
Thank you so much, man. It has been a true privilege learning from you and listening to you. God bless you, man. So I believe the participants can connect with you via LinkedIn, Twitter, what other platforms, just in case they would like to.
I think since it's a professional thing, let's limit it to LinkedIn and Twitter. At Folake Odedino, really, my name and my surname. My profile is simple everywhere. Twitter, LinkedIn, at Folake Odedino.
All right. Wonderful. Such powerful presentation. So many thank yous in the comment section. Thank you so much, Ma. And do have a restful evening.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me and best wishes to our graduates. Have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Ma.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Fam Abisola, for staying with us. Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, participants. I believe we learned a whole lot. Oh my. So good. So good. So good. So does anyone want to share just one thing that jumped at them all through the 2 mind-blowing sessions we just had? Just one thing that jumped at you. Anyone? Wow, yes, it's past 7. Ooh, Somto, are you trying to say something?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
Said the one thing that jumped on us, right, is the shifts. Since the beginning of this mentorship program, exactly 4th of September, everybody have been talking to us from a perspective of doing this to set yourself apart from the others. You want to leave the country, you want to do this, you want to do that. Like, it has been moving towards one direction since the beginning. But today, it was reversed. I don't know if it was planned, but it was reversed. And I won't lie, I don't want it to be the last. Because the energy I just received now, I need it every week as usual, but it's not possible if wishes were horses. So the thing that jumped on me is that you can't look at life from one perspective. It can't always be to go. It can be, like they said, from your backyard. So it's a lot to think about because Folake said, honor your struggle. She kept on saying it over and over again. This is the first time I'm hearing that thing. And it's sticking because of the energy she was saying it with. So we need to look at ourselves now. It's no more where we want to go, but let's look at us now and know what we can change from now. So today is exceptional. And there's something that happened to me now. It is not a coincidence. I've started with one book from that 4th of September, and today is 5th February, and the book just finished. So PIH is going to stick with me for life. That's just what I want to say.
So good, so good, so good, so good, so good. Wow, wow. The shift, honor your struggle. Focus on what lies in your backyard. True. Wow, amazing, really. Amazing. I myself am blown away by the sheer amount of knowledge that I have gleaned from the 2 sessions of today. I believe that we would not be the same. We would definitely go on to be pharmacy students and pharmacists with a difference because of all that we have learned today. Thank you so much, Somto. Thank you so much. Oh, our leader, Jonah, wrote in the comment section, I'm not among the PIH Cohort 3 participants, but I learned a lot here, and I hope to be selected for PIH Cohort 4. Hopefully you will get selected in Cohort 4. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Does someone else have something to say? Just one more person to share what jumped at them in the last session. Just one more person.
Yeah, good evening, ma. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
For me, I would say from the beginning up till this moment of my journey with PIH, it's been insightful, it's been life-changing. Like I've never been opposing to be a part of this kind of impactful mentorship program before. I've never been, and I hope this could just continue like this. Honestly, I I feel somehow uncomfortable to see that PIH Cohort 3 is, would I say has come to an end today or is coming to an end, honestly. And I want to plead on behalf of the whole Cohort 3 participants, if you could, if you can allow us to also be part of the subsequent the subsequent program in the forthcoming cohorts. Like the programs, like the facilitators, you can't just, they are not sessions that could be missed for anything. Like even as I'm speaking with you, I have practicals to report, I have tests to prepare for, and my exam is very close, but I still have to take time out of my busy schedule to attend this program because I know it's really worth it. So please, please, I want you to consider that my request on behalf of the whole Cohort 3 participants, because I can't afford to miss any of the program, honestly. Thank you so much, man.
So good to know. Don't worry, we are going to be launched into the alumni community, and you definitely have access to. You definitely have access to subsequent sessions for subsequent cohorts. So yeah, you have access, basically. That's why you're part of PIH. A participant in one cohort is a participant for life, right? You have access to resources, information, subsequent sessions as well. So don't worry, you're covered. So I see Farm 18A, did you want to say something? I saw your hand raised. So Farm 18A is one of the conveners, of course, of Pharma Incubation Hub, a trailblazing young pharmacist. And I'm so glad to be doing PIH with her. It was her passion really that made us start Pharma Incubation Hub. I remember that we were in her room, 500 level then, preparing for our final papers in pharmacy school at the University of Ibadan. I stayed a floor beneath Ezine, so I would go to her room to read. She was the most serious of us all. So I would go to her room to read, and Christy would also come to Ezine's room. And we were just, that time, instead of preparing for exams, we were just so worried about the state of pharmacy students in Ibadan and across Nigeria. And that's how we got the ginger to start Farming Incubation Hub. So, Dini Bay, you have the floor.
Hi Taiwo, hi everyone, good evening. I'm so happy that today's the last day. And I'm also, listening to the reviews of some of the participants. I'm like, wow, so much impact, so much. And I really want to comment Taiwo, should not be E for energy, should be T for energy. Like your energy has been sustaining us. I know I've been in and out, work and so many things. Life has just made it really hard to follow, but I'm really happy to hear the comments from the participants, and I mean, seeing someone who is planning to join in cohort 4 is something amazing, and I'm really, 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 really so happy to see the impact that we have done. I listened to a bit of what she said, and I can only assure you that from now, with all you've heard, if you apply it, it can only be success. So just keep being focused, keep doing what you're doing, and keep building capacity. Taiwo, thank you so much for the push and the energy that you bring to this. We love you. Bye.
Thank you, Zini. Thank you. So now that we are done with the sessions, I think that we can move on to the presentation of certificates. Let me see if I can share my screen from my end. All right, please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am, we can see your screen.
Okay, great. You all please give a rousing applause to Farm Omolayo Timileyin Awolola. If not for her, this program wouldn't have been a success, I tell you all. For cohort 1 and cohort 2, myself and my friends, we had relatively free time to coordinate the program, but life happened. Cohort 3, we've all been so busy. And God bless Farm Omolayo for me. She has been the one managing the program from the beginning to the end, ensuring that we have a great training calendar for the cohort, reaching out to the facilitators, doing follow-up with the facilitators, follow-up with the participants as well. It has been wonderful, really wonderful, really wonderful. Thank you so much. God bless you. And she was in cohort 1 anyway. She was a participant in cohort 1. Now you see her, moving stuff in cohort 3 and subsequently by God's grace. Thank you so much. So we had our debate competition 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this is an award of excellence to be given to the third best speaker, Victoria. Ochenehi. Is Victoria here? Please give Victoria a round of applause if she's here. Let me see. I don't know why I can't move to other. I'm sorry. I'm trying to open the rest of the certificate, but I don't know why. I can't. Tell me if you can from your end. Is it possible from your end?
Yes. You just make me a course so that I can share.
Okay, great. All right, wonderful. So let me do that. Okay. So yes, you're a co-host. You're a co-host now. So I guess I should stop sharing my screen so that you can share your screen. So yes, congrats to all of us. Yes, so God bless you, pretty Famlola. Yes, so pretty Famlola. Congrats to all the winners. Yes, we had 3 best speakers as at our last debate, and congrats to Victoria, who is the 3rd best speaker. Victoria Ocheney, 3rd best speaker at our online debate, the inaugural online debate competition of Farmer Incubation Hub. So with the success of the debate, we'll most likely have it in subsequent cohorts. So are you trying to share your screen? So we need to give the certificates to the other 2 winners, the 2nd best speaker, the overall best speaker, and then the certificate of participation to all participants.
Sorry, can you see my screen?
It's starting to share, but not fully.
Okay, it's loading.
Yes. Okay, yes. So the award of excellence presented to the 3rd best speaker in Farmer Incubation Hub Cohort 3 debate competition, Victoria Ochenehi. Congrats, Victoria. Well done, well done. Thanks for stepping out and giving your best at the debate competition. Next, please. Somto, feel free to cry, baby. Feel free to cry, baby. How far?
I don't know why it's not working.
It's not working on your end.
It's not moving. Okay, has it moved now?
Yeah, not yet.
Now?
Not yet.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. We'll be done in about 30 minutes. The awards shouldn't take so long. In about 30 minutes, we'll be done. So how far?
Okay. I think I would have to be doing it one after the other.
All right. You're supposed to share the 2nd person, not the 1st. But overall best speaker, anyway, as we all know, the person who gave the most mind-blowing of speeches at our debate, Chukwuemeka Augustine Nwachu. Is it Nwachuya or Nwachuya? Please confirm if the name of Nwachuya. Okay, so we'll correct that then. Congrats, Chukwuemeka, and well done. Well done. So, award for 2nd best speaker. Yes, so Wachi, a star boy. Very good. How far? Second speaker, second best speaker. How far?
Okay, it's coming up.
Okay. So next will be certificate of participation.
I don't know why it's no more
next will be
sharing.
overall best team. Sorry?
I don't know why it's no longer sharing.
Oh my. Oh my. Okay, I guess I will share from my own end. Apologies, dear participants, apologies. So let me see if I can share from my end. All right, so this is a award of excellence given to the second best speaker at the debate competition, Manuela Oribim Dagogo George. Well done, Manuela, and congratulations to you. Okay, so next up would be the award to the overall best team, the overall best debate team. So please give me a minute here. It seems we'll have to start sharing one by one. I'm not sure why we're experiencing that challenge, but please bear with us. So overall best team, we have Chukwemeka Augustine Wachuya and Victoria Ochenehi. Well done to both of you. Well done, well done. Hopefully you'll be more encouraged to speak up, to show up subsequently. Well done. So we now go to the award of participation. Certificate of participation to all participants. And so sad that I'll have to so sad that I'll have to share one by one, because this doesn't look easy for us.
Or how about we share the link for them so that they can download the certificate of participation? Because having to share 39, like
one by one, right?
Yeah, 39 people.
Oh my. Okay, you know what? Let me just try one more. If not, we'll just call out their names.
Okay, great.
Yes. We'll just call out their names if we are unable to share. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So you can see the certificates.
Yes, we can.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So congratulations to Abdulwasiu Musina. Congrats. We see that you fully participated in the program, and we applaud your commitment to the program so far. And we are, of course, optimistic about what lies ahead of you, even after Farm Incubation Hub. Well done. Congratulations also to Adeniyi Ayinde Abdulwahab. Well done, well done, well done. Congratulations to Agada Emanuela. Well done, Emanuela. Well done, well done. Congratulations to Agwina Favor. Well done, Favor. Well done. Congratulations to Ajiboye Janet. Well done, Janet. Congratulations to Akonde Taufikat. Well done, Taufikat. Congratulations to Akwe Mary Teresa Chinaza. Well done, Chinaza. Well done. Aliyu Danladi. Well done. Well done, Aliyu. Congratulations to Anye Funa Chisom Victoria. Well done, Victoria. Congratulations, Aroboy Revival. Well done, Revival. Chukwemeka Nwachuya. Well done, Chukwemeka, and congratulations. Deborah Shomuyiwa. Well done, Deborah. Well done. And all the best in your induction. She will be inducted into the pharmacy profession in a few days' time. Diala Chimezie Bid. Well done, Chimezie. Ekwonu Abasi Uko James. Well done, James. Well done. Congratulations, James. Emenike Nkechi Annalise. Well done, Annalise, and congratulations to you. Fortune Richmond. Well done, Fortune, and congratulations to you. Godwin Chioma Sandra. Well done, Sandra, and congratulations to you. Ihemekwa Grace. Well done, Grace, and congratulations to you, Grace. Jacob in Sikak Abasi. Well done, Jacob in Sikak Abasi, and congratulations to you. Joanna Oluwatoyi. Congratulations to you, Joanna. Well done, well done, well done. Manuela Dagogo George. Well done, Manuela, and congratulations to you. Odukwe Chidima. Well done, Chidima, and congratulations to you. Olakuleyin Adebusi, congratulations to you and well done. Olaniran Jamiu Olorunfemi, well done, Jamiu, and congratulations to you. Oluwaseun Aguda, well done, and congratulations to you. Omoji Igbe Jeremiah, well done, and congratulations to you. Precious Fidelis Ekoto, well done, Precious, and congratulations to you. Somto Chuku Mary Cynthia, well done, Somto, and congratulations to you. If you find any mistake in your name, please do not hesitate to let us know so that we can correct it. Success, David, well done, Success, and congratulations to you. Ubiere Isaiah Bassi, congratulations to you. Well done. Usman Kolade Ridwan, congratulations to you and well done. Uzochukwu Chima, well done and congratulations to you. Victoria Ochenehi, well done and congratulations to you. Okay, I believe that is all with regards to the certificate. If your name wasn't called, you most likely did not meet one or more criteria, and you've got to do that maybe by submission of your mentorship reports or your mentorship presentation slides. All right, well done to everyone. Well done to everyone. You all have done so well. I heartily congratulate all of you who have. So if you have a correction, if you have a correction to make in your name, please reach out to FAM Timilane so that it can be corrected. Thank you, everyone. And for those whose mentorship is still on with your mentors, please keep up the relationship with your mentor. Give your best to the relationship, honor the relationship, show gratitude always. Buy gifts if need be, send a thank you card or something. Just something to show that you are grateful for the experience, for the opportunity to learn from your mentor. Do that. And that will not only help you to get more from your mentor, that will also help us, forge a better relationship as an organization with your mentor. Some of our mentors have been mentoring our participants since cohort 1, some since cohort 2, and they've been doing it for free, requesting nothing, giving their time, their expertise, sharing their experiences. And all we can ever use to pay them is just a heart of gratitude, a sincere heart of gratitude. Money wouldn't cut it because we don't even have money to pay. This program is self-funded, right? We are bootstrapping. There is no funding from anywhere. So we've got to show up with great attitude, especially an attitude of gratitude. Thank you once again, everyone. And we officially launch you all into the alumni community of Farmer Incubation Hub. Congratulations. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Well done, everyone. Well done. Well done. So do not hesitate to tell your classmates, your friends about Farmer Incubation Hub. Keep spreading the good news about Farmer Incubation Hub, and let's change pharmacy together. So I'll ask Fam Timile Yomalayo to share the closing remarks as we leave.
Congratulations, everyone. It's so good to have you guys as alumni, and we cannot wait to see you doing great stuff even after Farmer Incubation Hub. We really cannot wait to see you, put into practice all the things that you have learned throughout the program. And congratulations once again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to the co-conveners. Thank you, everyone, for making this work. Thank you for your cooperation, actually. Thank you for your support. And thank you for also even talking about volunteering for the initiative. We're so happy and we are grateful, and we are happy that we're able to do this with you at this time and in this period. Congratulations once again. And okay, we'll send the link. If you have any, if you would need any correction on your name certificate, let me know. And we'll also share the link so that you can download your certificate and then you can put it up on your LinkedIn profile. And don't forget to tag Farmer Incubation Hub on LinkedIn or any other social media platform where you post your certificate. We are looking forward to seeing your hashtags on LinkedIn concerning all that you learned in today's program, and also about all that you learned throughout the program in Farmer Incubation Hub. Thank you once again. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone, and weekend. Bye.
Also,
So,
don't forget
Alito,
that you can reach out to any one of us at any time, even after the program. We're still like here for you.
Yes, so we are here for you. Please go on LinkedIn and share your beautiful PIH experiences. Tag me, tag the conveners, tag your classmates, tag the hub managers, tag the facilitators, tag the mentors, tag everyone who has made a huge impact on you in the program. You know, through LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you're able to spread the word to other pharmacy students in your network so that they learn from what you have been enjoying so far, and so that they also will be challenged to do better in their space and be encouraged also to apply to Cohort 4 or Farmer Incubation Hub. We look forward to doing great stuff in Cohort 4 and even doing better than we have done in Cohort 3, to do better than that in Cohort 4. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for making Farmer Incubation Hub Cohort 3 a success. It shouldn't have been a success without you, the participants. Thank you, everyone. Alido, I remember that I saw your application in Cohort 3. So sorry you weren't selected. Hopefully you turn in a better application for Cohort 4 and you have the opportunity to learn also in Cohort 4. And until then, keep telling everyone you know also about Farmer Incubation Hub, and let's do great things in pharmacy together. Bye, everyone. See you all on the WhatsApp page.
Bye.